Hello everyone, Xeno What If here. Bring in a new what if call. What if Team RWBY and Sonic and friends were teleported into Red vs. Blue universe? Link description of the fanfiction of this what if. Listen here YouTube. I do not own anything and this isn't a scam. Why are we here in this world? A soldier with light blue colored armor is walking inside a large metallic blue base while holding a sniper rifle. When inside there was a lot of loud and bumping noises along with something that sounded like glass shattering on the floor. He then turned around and saw someone with purple colored armor who was holding what appears to be a medical scanner. "Hey doc, what the hell is going on?" the light blue armored soldier asked. "Church, everything's fine. The patient is just resting," Doc replied. "Doesn't sound like he's resting," Church said as the mysterious noises kept on getting louder. "That's not Tucker, that's our new arrival," Doc answered while a loud, Blair RRRRG, was heard. "He's got a lot of energy since his first feeding. Tucker fed the baby. Gross," Church said in disgust. "Actually, Caboose was kind enough to donate some blood. You know what they say, it takes a village," Doc said. "How do you get him to agree to that?" Church asked. "It's amazing what Caboose will do if you promise him a cookie and a glass of orange juice," Doc said as the glass shattering noises continued along with another loud, blard, honk, honk. "But he hates needles," Church said. "No needles, it turns out if you just expose some bare skin, the little guy just digs in," Doc explained while Caboose walked up from behind him. "It's like a miracle to see nature at work. I feel dizzy," Caboose said as he looks a bit unsteady to be standing. Is he gonna be okay?" Church asked. "Tucker's kid drank half a gallon in one go. Isn't that cool?" Doc said in excitement. "I think he's gonna be a linebacker. Or a vampire. Or a vampire linebacker. That'd be crazy." Ooh, Caboose felt a bit lightheaded after draining a large amount of his blood. Anyway, blood is pretty important, so Caboose is bound to have some side effects like dizziness, or nausea, or sensitivity to light. Doc explained to Church. "I think I'm going to stop standing up now." Caboose then suddenly collapses on the floor. Or passing out. "Church, if I die, I want you to have my orange juice," Caboose said while constant, blard, noises are happening somewhere else. "How can Tucker sleep with all that racket?" Church asked. "Sleeping. He's not sleeping, he's in a coma," Doc answered. "Alright, that's it, get out of the way Doc, I'll take care of this." "I can't feel my torso," Caboose said on the ground almost unconscious. "I don't think so, a newborn is really susceptible to infection and disease," Doc said in an unsure manner. "And cuddling, I only wanna expose it to as few people as possible." Church scoffed. "Doc, don't worry, I'm not gonna give it a cold, I'm just gonna go in there, step on its neck and shoot its head, because that's how I roll." "Well, now you're definitely not coming in," Doc said, not wanting Church to harm the newborn alien. "And I think we're gonna send back your shower gift too." "I'm still laying here, why won't anyone help me?" Caboose questioned. "I'll tell you what, I promise to wash my hands before I destroy the abomination of nature, okay?" Church reassured. "Sorry. Doc, seriously, you can't keep me from going inside my own base," Church said in annoyance. "Church, don't make me pull rank on you," Doc said in confidence. "R rank? What the fuck? I outrank, you don't outrank me, I'm a captain," Church exclaimed. "No, you're a private with a dead captain," Doc corrected. "The last time I checked, that makes you a private, with a dead captain." "My body is trying to die," Caboose said in a weakened state. Okay, fine, then we're both privates, you don't outrank me," Church remarked. "No, I'm medical super private, first class," Doc boasted in response. "That's not a real rank." "Yes, it is. Since when?" Church asked in curiosity. Since I sent them a letter every day for 4 years requesting that promotion," Doc said. "They promoted you for that?" Church was flabbergasted. "You haven't even used your weapon." "Leadership isn't about firing bullets and stabbing people, Church. Leadership is about being able to tell others to fire bullets and stab people," Doc explained. "If I've been bitten, does that mean I'm going to turn into one of them?" Caboose asked, still lying on the floor in a somewhat unconscious state. "Shut up, Caboose," Church said in irritation. "Blah. Shut up, Caboose. AAAAARG. Oh, no, don't let me turn. Caboose said. All of a sudden there was a loud crash happening outside of Blue Base, as well as something that sounded like an airplane falling into the ground. This disturbance managed to shake the interior of the Blue Base for a bit. The hell was that? Church exclaimed in confusion. I didn't feel anything, Caboose said, staying still on the ground. I'll be right back, don't feed any more of our soldiers to the alien. Church commanded. Okay, but I can't make any promises. Doc said to Church before he left. Don't leave me with the horrible doctor. Caboose muttered. Oh, shut up Caboose. Doc remarked. Now he's cursing at me. Somewhere far outside of Blue Base, there's a red armored soldier with a shotgun who appears to be the oldest of the group, and he's with a maroon armored soldier with a SMG gun and a yellow, gold, whatever armored color soldier he's supposed to be, and has the same weapon as his friend. They appear to be at the middle of the boxed canyon, observing a crashed aircraft vehicle. It's likely they're observing the crash site, which is the cause of the strange loud impact that was going on outside of their territory. Simmons, cough status report cough asterisk. The red armored soldier said while clearing his throat. An enormous thing just fell out of the sky and landed on Donut sir. Simmons reported. Are there any other injuries? No sir. You sure? I think so. Are you sure? The red armored soldier questioned. No one accidentally got shot in the face when someone else's shotgun just accidentally went off during the incredible distraction of a spaceship crash landing, purely by coincidence. I don't know. No one orange. I'm fine. The orange armored soldier groaned. Sorry sir. Simmons apologized. Oh dear, I really need to adjust the sights on this thing. The red armored soldier groaned while holding his shotgun. What about Private Donut, sir? There's no way he survived that. They all started staring at the ship which apparently crushed their former Private Donut. Poor Donut. I'll miss him like a sister. I'll miss him like, well, like someone I knew but that I don't really want to reflect on how deep our relationship went. The red armored soldier commented. Wait a second, do you hear that? It sounds like tapping. All I hear is you guys talking about your feelings for Donut. And I have to say, I'm not really comfortable with that. The orange soldier said. Listen, there it is again. The tapping noise continued to get louder and louder. You're absolutely right. That sounds like Morse code. Excuse me sir, it's actually not Morse code. It's Morse code sir. Simmons corrected. Morse, hey, that sounds ridiculous, I don't think so. The red armored soldier said. Yes, Morse is the person who developed an international code for communicating without audio. Morris was a television cat that sold cat food. Simmons pointed out to his red leader. And that cat was one of our finest military minds, don't you see? That just means Donut is alive and trying to contact us. Now, get to tapping. The red armored soldier commanded. Maybe we can lift the ship off of him somehow. Simmons suggested. Great idea, Simmons. I've read reports that people can get enormous strength in stressful situations. There was one woman who lifted a car off her baby. You want me to call Donut's mother? The orange armored soldier asked. Don't make me angry, Griff. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. The red armored soldier threatened. Now if only there were some way to tap into our inner rage, like that Hulk fella. Dang nabbit, there's never any gamma radiation around when you need it. Well, what if we tried getting into the ship, and lowering the landing gear? That might raise the ship. Simmons suggested. Or, we could build an army of clones that could lift the ship. I think that the Jack in the Warthog might be able to lift it. Could develop a machine that shrinks the ship, or that makes Donut gigantic. Or both. The red armored soldier said. Or we could try digging underneath the hull. I've got it. A levitation ray. I think I have a spare in the base. I'll be right back. The red armored soldier then walked away as his team followed him. But sir, Simmons, there's no time to chat about your crackpot theories. The red armored soldier yelled as he went inside a jeep nearby. This is a crisis situation. Time to save us all, with science. He then drove off to the far side of the canyon. Pishu. Off. Sarge just drove away with our Jack, didn't he? Griff asked. And our shovels. Sometimes I'm amazed our entire platoon hasn't starved to death. Simmons sighed. Hey, what's that over there? The ship. Yeah, it crushed Donut to death, what are you still being sentimental about him? Because I am this close to ending myself if I have to listen to your stupid eulogy one more time. Griff complained. What? No, you dumbass, I meant what's that besides the ship. Simmons and Griff then went to the side of the ship and found something unexpected. It was a group of young girls who appears to be teenagers in different colored clothing and are all lying on the ground unconsciously. The red and black one has a long-sleeved thick black blouse with a high collar and red trim on the sleeves. Silver eyes, a black waist cincher with red lacing up the front, a black skirt with red trim, a pair of thick black stockings and black combat boots with red laces, red trim around the top and red soles, a red hooded cloak with a large sliver rose emblem pinned on her belt buckle with bullets and pouch attached to it, black hair that fades to dark red at the tips cut in an asymmetrical bob, and a large side with the tip and handle in colors of red and black. The white and blue one has a thigh-length strapless dress with faint color gradation from white to pale blue at the hem. Pale blue eyes, long white hair pulled back into an off-center buntail and pinned with an icicle-shaped tiara. A small piece of black lace sits in the front of her neckline and the hem of the dress is scalloped and stitched to resemble snowflakes, with layers of white tulle under the skirt, a bell-sleeved bolero with the same color gradation as her dress from shoulder to wrist, lined in red and with a ruffled collar, rectangular silver earrings, white wedged heel boots, and a thin silver sword attached to her side. The black and white one has a big black bow on her head, amber eyes with light purple shadow, black low-heeled boots, long and wavy black hair, black buttoned vest with coattails, white sleeveless undershirt, white shorts that's connected to her shirt, black stockings with shades of purple, a detached scarf-like collar around her neck, and a katana-like weapon in a black sheath. The yellow one has a tan jacket that bears her lower stomach, with golden brown piping and short, puffy sleeves with black cuffs that feature 2 gold buttons. A low-cut yellow crop top with her emblem on the left breast in black, a brown belt covered by a pleated brown piece of material reaching from hip to hip around the back of her waist, a longer, white, asymmetrical piece of material reaching to her knee on the right side, as well as a pair of black mini shorts, a lavender bandana is tied around her left knee, and a pair of yellow gauntlets attached to her arms. Well, holy shit, who are these people? I have no idea, I think they're a bunch of teenaged girls. Simmons said while observing them. What, who the hell would dump little kids in the middle of a boxed canyon? Are they even alive? Griff questioned. I'm not sure, for all we know they could have been from outer space like with the spaceship that crash-landed here. Simmons theorized. So, what you're saying is that, a group of girls we never saw before in our entire lives, are from outer space. What kind of bullshit answer is that? Hey, it's just a hypothetical theory. They might be aliens or some shit I don't fucking know. Your theories sucks ass. Griff yelled. Screw you, Griff, I don't understand how we even. Oh look, I think they're getting up. Simmons then pointed to the girls. Wait, seriously. Just now all of the girls started waking up all grunting, as if they're in pain after a long slumber. They all slowly getting up while regaining their footing. One of them decided to speak. Ruby, what did you do? The black and white one groaned in pain. I'm so sorry, I didn't think it was gonna do something like that. Ruby panicked. Ow, I told you it was a bad idea in the first place. We could have gotten seriously hurt or worse. We're lucky we can stand up after all of that reckless action of yours. The white and blue one said. Hey Ice Queen, leave my sister alone, will ya? It was just a mistake, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, Weiss. The yellow one said, defending Ruby. Just a mistake. Young, for all we know, that object could have teleported us to the middle of nowhere with no essential supplies or necessities to survive, putting us all in danger. Weiss said in annoyance. Look, I said I'm sorry, okay? Ruby apologized. I was just curious, I wanted to know what would happen, but I didn't think it would turn out like this. Ow, Blake, can you get a good view of wherever we are? Because as of right now, I am not going to put up with Ruby's mess. Weiss said in irritation over Ruby's mistake. Why don't we ask them? Blake then pointed at both Simmons and Griff, who continued to stare at them. Who are those two? Young questioned. Judging from those armor, they are certainly not soldiers from Atlas. Weiss observed. Well, we can just ask them, there's no harm in trying, right team? Ruby said in confidence. Just be careful, Ruby, we don't know what we're getting ourselves into. Blake insisted. Who the hell are you girls? Griff asked in confusion. Hello, we're Team RWBY, Huntresses in training. We were wondering if you know where we are right now. Ruby politely asked. You see, Simmons then fidget in anxiety and panics a little towards them. Dude, what the hell is wrong with you? Griff turned to see Simmons getting anxious. Look man, I'm nervous, I never interacted with a girl in a long time. Simmons' voice began to crack. I can already tell this conversation started to derail quickly. Yang said. They don't really seem to be all that professional for a pair of soldiers. Blake noted. Let's just give them a chance, maybe they aren't as bad as we think they are. Ruby said with optimism. Weiss sighed. Somehow I highly doubt that. What? Why? It's not like you're going to take them on a date or some crap, and besides they look like they're a bunch of 10-year-olds anyway. How hard can that be? Griff exclaimed. Hey, we're not just a bunch of kids, we just so happen to be 17. Yang crossed her arms. And 15. Ruby added. Can we get back on topic? Weiss yelled. Where are we? What is this place? Why are we even here? Simmons and Griff turned to look at each other for a few seconds, and then back at Weiss, as if they have heard this line of question before. It's one of life's great mysterious. Why are we here? Simmons scoffed at Griff's response. No, you idiot. They meant why are they here in this canyon? You see you're here in this canyon, it's, somewhere in the desert area, with two bases right next to each other, and we're fighting and stuff. Griff explained in a lazy manner. What? Blake said, not understanding what Griff was saying. Really? Simmons replied unamused. Look, I don't really know why we're even here, okay? All I know is that I have to constantly deal with this bullshit every single day of my life, when I could have just been at the base eating on some good pizza right now, but no, we have to deal with this stupid crap instead. Griff complained harshly. Yeesh, someone woke up on the wrong side of the bed this morning. Yang said while feeling a bit uncomfortable. Was the swearing really necessary? Ruby winced. This is getting us nowhere. Look, just tell us where we can get to Vale and we'll be on our way. Weiss said with impatience. Vale. Simmons said, not being familiar with the name. Never heard of it. Griff said. What? How could you two not know where Vale is? Blake said in confusion. First time I've heard of a place called that. Simmons replied. What about Beacon Academy? You know, the famous school for hunters and huntresses. Weiss asked, hoping to get a proper answer this time around. Hunters, huntresses. Are you girls into those nerdy role-playing crap where you imagine yourself in a fantasy world? Griff questioned. No, we're not role-playing, we just want to know where we can. Before Weiss can say anything else, they all heard some honking noises. They turned to see Sarge driving a warthog and is heading their direction. Who's that guy? Ruby asked. Oh, him. That's Sarge, he's our commanding officer. Simmons said. Maybe talking to someone with a higher authority can give us some answers to what's going on. Weiss said. I wouldn't count on it. Griff said. The warthog then stopped near them, as they saw Sarge stepping out of the vehicle. Bad news fellas, I couldn't find that levitation ray, but I did find the remote control too. Sarge then stopped talking when he saw a group of 4 girls standing next to Simmons and Griff. Who are these ladies? Sarge asked. Sir, this is Team RWBY. Simmons said, trying to introduce them to his leader. We found them lying unconsciously near the ship. So, this is supposed to be Command's backup. Sarge said in a surprised tone. No sir, they were besides the ship, not inside of it. But they're girls. Sarge said. What is that supposed to mean? Yang said, not liking Sarge's response. I mean, that's just nonsense. Simmons said you 4 were near the ship, meaning Command must have some involvement with ya, and last I checked the army wouldn't allow a bunch of young lady children to fight. That's stuff for El Macho people only, people like me. Sarge stated. After hearing this, Yang began to growl in anger, her eyes began to flash red and her hair began to turn bright yellow. I'll have you know, I'm the best damn fighter here. You can take your El Macho crap, and shove it up your. Yang. Stop, we don't want cause a scene. Ruby begged as she tried to calm her down. Well shit, remind me to never mess with her. Griff said. My fears of girls just increased by 10%, actually make that 20%. Simmons said as his voice cracked again. Sarge chuckled at Yang's anger. Haha, well it looks like there is some fire in ya after all. You'd make a fine addition to Red Team. Is he being serious right now? Blake asked. Welcome to my life, Griff said sarcastically. Sorry to disappoint you, but we're not here to join your team. RWBY politely said to Sarge. What? But Command sent you. If you were besides the ship, that means Command must have had something to do with y'all ladies. Sarge said, confusing Weiss. That makes no sense, we're not. And that young lady in red over there. Sarge said, pointing at RWBY, who gave him a confused look. She's wearing the red cloak, that means she's the best soldier in your team, and if that doesn't scream, Red Team, then I don't know what is, damn it. For the last time, we're not sent by Command. We're not soldiers, and we're not part of your stupid Red Team. Weiss shouted at the top of her lungs, causing both teams to be equally surprised at her sudden outburst. Weiss, that wasn't really necessary, you didn't have to shout like that. RWBY flinched. Ouch, burst my eardrums, why don't you? Yang said, annoyed at Weiss's outburst. You didn't have to yell like that. Blake said as she put her hands on her bow. Well, excuse me for being impatient. We're stranded in the middle of nowhere, and the only people we're talking to are a bunch of ignorant, unprofessional soldiers. Weiss exclaimed. Hey, I resent that. Griff retorted. Griff, you couldn't even properly explain to them where we are. What makes you think she could trust your knowledge in the first place? Simmons pointed out. I'll complain about it later. Griff lazily said. Sarge continued to stare at Weiss for a few seconds until he spoke. Well, if you're not part of Command, or part of Red Team, he then cocked his shotgun and aimed it at Team RWBY, surprising them all in the process. Whoa, what the hell are you doing? Yang exclaimed. Have you gone mad? Weiss yelled. Sir. Simmons yelled. Sarge, what the fuck? Griff shouted. If you're not with Red Team, then there's only one logical explanation, you're a dirty blue. Sarge yelled with anger and hatred. Are you mental? What does being blue has anything to do with not joining your scandalous team? Weiss screamed. Weiss. RWBY slowly moves next to her partner. I don't think it's smart to call the guy crazy while he's pointing a gun at us. Could someone please explain what's going on? Blake exclaimed. Danganabbit. Isn't it obvious? The Blues called Command for backup and it just so happens to be these 4 girls right here. Sarge said. They're trying to gain the upper hand by infiltrating us behind our backs. That might be the most ridiculous story I have ever heard. Weiss exclaimed. Wait, Mr. Sarge. RWBY then slowly walked towards Sarge with her hands in the air to avoid any means of violent confrontation. We were just brought here by accident, we don't have anything to do with your Red Team or Blue Team, we would just like to know if. The fuck are you guys doing out here? Breaking the canyon. They all turned to see Church, who is approaching them. AHA. I knew it. You're part of those dirty blues. Sarge yelled. What? Both Team RWBY and Church shouted in confusion. Katya red-handed, and by red, I mean by Red Team. Seriously, what the hell is going on? Who are these girls? Church questioned. Think you can play dumb with your dirty blue Trixie? Why? Sarge then lowered his gun, as he turned to Simmons and Griff. Griff, Simmons, I want you two to raise your guns and shoot these 4 right here and now. What? Simmons and Griff shouted. Why do we have to shoot them? Griff asked. Why can't you do it? You're the one who pointed a gun towards their heads in the first place. That's what you're asking, Simmons yelled. Well, I mean, they're ladies, and I would never hurt a lady in my life. Sarge said. Now men, raise up your guns and blow their noggins off. Team RWBY were about to bring up their weapons in preparation for an upcoming fight against Sarge and his Red Team, until Church steps in and intervened. Hold on a minute, let's not do anything crazy here. Church tries to call someone via radio inside his helmet. Hey, Caboose, did you call Command? Like asking for backup involving 4 young girls. Well, maybe I did try calling Command once. Caboose wearily responded. I was asking them if they can bring us some more orange juice. I'm all out of orange juice, and I think I've mentioned Tucker giving birth after his alien friend came out of his. Church then hangs up the call, not wanting to hear any more of Caboose's insane ramblings. Okay, we're in the clear. Command might have sent something to us, but I highly doubt it involves those 4 girls. RWBY slowly moved next to Yang, making sure that they don't hear them. Hey, Yang. What? Is it just me? Or does that blue guy sound familiar to you? RWBY asked. What do you mean? This is the first time we ever met a guy like him. Yang said. Well, call me crazy, but doesn't he sound kind of like our dad right now? Yang didn't understand her little sister, until the sudden realization hits her like a truck. Oh, I can definitely hear it now. What the hell? Why does he sound like dad? Yang exclaimed. RWBY hushed Yang, not wanting to attract unwanted attention. I know this is shocking to you, but try to keep your voice down. As weird as this is, it's best if we don't mention this to anybody, or him, we don't want to get on their bad side. Okay, I get ya sis. Yang whispered. Are you saying, those 4 youngins aren't part of your team? Sarge clarified. No. Both Church and Team RWBY yelled together. Well then who are they? Sarge asked. Yeah, I'd like to know that myself. Church said. Team RWBY then introduced themselves and explained to them what had actually happened to them that caused them to appear in the boxed canyon in the first place. I'm Ruby Rose, leader of Team RWBY. RWBY gleefully said while pointing herself. I'm Weiss Schnee, heiress of the Schnee Dust Industries. Weiss said with some sense of notability. Blake Belladonna. Blake said. Yang Xiaolong, nice to meet ya. Yang said ecstatically. We were on a mission transporting a mysterious object to our beacon academy. We were in a bullhead vehicle flying high up in the sky. The object we were carrying was in a box, and I let my curiosity get the best of me. RWBY explained. To which I constantly tried to tell you how much of a bad idea that was. Weiss reminded. I know, you don't have to remind me, I'm sorry, okay? So, what did you try to do that made you end up here in the first place? Simmons asked. When I opened the box, it was revealed to be a book. A book? Why the hell would you go transporting a stupid book? That's the most boring mission I've ever heard yet. Griff said. I'm getting to that part. RWBY said with patience. We all didn't know what the book might do, and so when I opened the book, a huge bright light flashed all over us, blinding us all. It made me drop the book, and then all of a sudden, we fell down. After that, we have no idea why we're here and we're trying to find a way to get back to Beacon Academy. RWBY was done explaining their side of the story to the Red Team and Church. A moment of silence has gone by for a few seconds, leaving them with more questions than answers, until Church was the one to speak up. Bullshit. Excuse me. Weiss was taken aback towards Church's response. I said bullshit, what kind of dumbass story was that? Church said in anger. I opened a book, and here we are. That's the stupidest fucking made-up story I have ever heard. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think I might have to, sort of, partially, agree with the blue here. Sarge said, not liking the thought of siding with Church. What you're saying is too far-fetched. Yeah, all this book glowing with lights and shit sounds way too cool just for that to happen in real life, and besides how it can just bring you into a boxed canyon. By teleportation or some unbelievable crap. Griff said, not believing RWBY. Well, there are many scientific theories on how the concept of teleportation might actually work. I can show you some highly detailed statistics about the. I don't know and I don't want to know, so how about we skip the nerd talk because all I'm hearing is how incredibly unrealistic it is to believe a book that can manage to do all of that. Griff replied to Simmons, not wanting to hear his boring conversation. What more do you want? What my sister said is the truth. Yang said as her eyes began to flicker and red. So, how about you back off and. Yang, you don't have to stand up for me. RWBY said. But, it's okay really, it doesn't matter whether he believes us or not, what matters is trying to find some way to take us back to our academy. Fine, Yang replied. Anyway, now that you have nowhere else to go, what are you planning to do now? Church asked. We don't know, we haven't thought of anything yet, we just recently woke up next to this ship and. Hold on, are you saying this ship right here? Church said. Yeah, this was the ship that crash-landed on one of our guys. Griff said. Wait, what do you mean it crash-landed on your guys? What happened? Blake asked. Well, you see, poor old Private Donut got crushed by this here ship that came crashing out of nowhere, and I was planning on using a levitation ray to get him out of it, but that's definitely a no-go. Sarge said. Yang snickered. What kind of name is Donut? Blake then elbows Yang. Ow, sorry. What, this ship? Church asked. No, another ship. Then that ship left, and this ship crashed in the exact same spot. Simmons said. What kind of insane logic is that? Weiss asked. Where'd it come from? It's a spaceship, it came from space. Griff said. Church stared at the spaceship for a moment, and then back at the red team. Dibs. What? Simmons said. Dibs, I just called dibs, this is my ship now, dibs. Church said. Dibs. Sarge said quickly. Too late. Both Simmons and Griff said. Danganabbit. Why did I leave you two to guard anything? Everybody knows about the International Dibs Protocol and the No-Take-Backs Accord. Sarge said as Team RWBY were just watching in bewilderment. What in the world are they doing? Blake asked. Weiss sighed. I can't believe we're gonna be stuck here surrounded by a bunch of idiots. Yang chuckled. I don't know about you, but I am starting to love watching these guys fool around with their so-called Dibs protocol. And I thought I was weird on my first day at Beacon. RWBY said. Whatever jackass, that doesn't mean it's yours, we found it first. Simmons exclaimed. Yeah, but you didn't call dibs, I did, dibs, see. Church said. You can't call dibs on a spaceship. That's ridiculous. Griff exclaimed. Yes, I can, dibs, see. I just did it again. Church said. Now get the fuck away from my ship, tomato can. Don't call me tomato can. Simmons scowled at Church. Try and take it then. Griff said. Okay, Sheila. Church then turns around to see a tank appeared by his side. You bet. Sheila said as she pointed her cannon at the red team. Where did that tank come from? Weiss exclaimed. And it can talk. Blake said. Its name is Shelia. Yang said. A talking tank ready at his side willing to take commands, that's so amazing. RWBY said with joy. Her team then slowly began to stare at RWBY, giving her weird looks. What? Oh snap. Sarge said. Fuck. You forgot about that too, didn't you? Griff said to Simmons. Yeah, kinda. Now step away from the ship, tomato can. Shelia insulted Simmons. Ha ha, tomato can. Griff mocked. You too, lemon head. Shelia insulted Griff. Hey, I'm orange, not yellow. Griff corrected. What's wrong, bud? Orange, you not glad she called you yellow? Yang joked, causing a lot of groans coming from Team RWBY and Griff. Please don't tell me that's gonna be your thing. Griff said. Yang, are you serious? Jokes at a time like this? Weiss asked. What? I doubt anything bad is going to happen. Those guys are as harmless as they come anyway. Yang said. Are we going to forget the red soldier who aimed a gun to our heads a few minutes ago? Blake pointed out. Okay, maybe not all of them. Yang replied. How many times do we got to say this, you can't have the ship? Simmons said to Church. I'm not asking for it, it's already mine, right Shelia? Church asked Shelia. Actually, I kind of like it, I think it is mine. Hey, are you okay? Church then walked to Shelia to check on what's wrong with her. Simmons, what in tarnation is going on? Sarge asked. I think there's something wrong with the tank. Simmons whispered. Yeah, we noticed. Griff said sarcastically. I've got an idea. Whoa, okay, hold on a second. Griff said. Before you get too deep into this, let me remind you that we don't exactly have a good track record when it comes to our plans and that tank. Come on, Griff, I think the tank's malfunctioning. Well, only one part of it has to function for me to turn into a cloud of orange mist. Griff said. Actually, Simmons, let's try to initiate that function, we can gain some benefits from this with the whole Griff turning into mist. Sarge said. Griff sighed. Of course, you would like that. Okay, just be cool. Church said to Shelia. I am cool, you be cool. Shelia replied. See guys, this is our ship, and by ours, I mean mine, and my. Church then turns around to see Shelia already leaving him in the opposite direction. Everyone continued to watch in confusion. 80-ton, friend. Bye everyone, Shelia said while laughing manically. Church then turns around to face red team, after not realizing that something is going on with the tank's strange behavior. The red team then cocked and aimed their guns at Church. They were about to shoot him, until a certain little red hood stopped them by getting in between of their shots. Wait, hold on, let's not kill each other right here. RWBY begged. Missy, what are you trying to say here? He's a lousy good for nut and blue. He's the enemy. It's our jobs to dispose the likes of him and his kind. Sarge pointed out. Yeah, this is technically what we do for a living. Griff said. Simmons scoffed at Griff. No, we don't, we rarely get to do stuff like this because all we do is stand around and talk all day. Shut up, Simmons, I just wanted to look cool for once. Griff yelled. You were never cool to begin with, Yellow. Church replied. Fuck off, Blue. Ruby, what are you doing? Blake asked. Why are you stopping them? They're incompetent soldiers, it's not like they're smart enough to kill each other efficiently anyway. Weiss said. I have an idea that can help both of them without letting them hurt each other. Ruby said in confidence. What if 2 girls from my team can go help out Red Team, while the other 2 go help Church's team? That way there's no need to shoot each other to dust. Is that okay with you? Sarge and his team lowered their weapons. Hey, I knew the girl in red clothing is the smart one in your group, it does sound like a mighty fine proposal. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a few extra sets of hands after some of my members are, let's just say they're asleep, for now. Church said. Ruby went back to her team, and they all huddled around each other and talked about their plans with the Reds and Blues. Ruby, I am not liking this idea, you know how deranged they are. Weiss exclaimed. I know they can be weird sometimes, but what choices do we have? We have nothing to do, this might be our only chance to even survive out here, and possibly find a way back home. Ruby said. I don't know, Ruby, it looks like they're supposed to be at war towards each other, it doesn't look like this is something we can just make it instantly disappear. Blake said. I agree with Blake, this is a pretty risky move, we have no idea with what we're getting ourselves into, even if they are a hilarious bunch to watch. Yang said. I know it's dangerous, but this is the only time we can find out what's really going on after that strange book incident. Ruby said. And if we try to get along with them for now, then maybe it'll bring us closer to not only finding the book, but also learning more about this place we never been to before. Weiss then scoffed at Ruby's ridiculous plan, that's absurd and you know it. Sigh, fine, I'll play along for now, but I am not going anywhere near those red lunatics. The last thing I need is another headache from their idiocy. Okay, then it looks like you're going with Church's team, I'll come with you, there's some things I would like to ask Church about anyway. Ruby said, wondering about how similar Church is to a certain father figure. I guess that just leaves me and Blake with Red Team. Yang said. Just be careful out there, remember, there's supposed to be a war going on between the 2 teams, even if it doesn't look like one, it's better to be safe than sorry. Blake advised them with caution. I understand, we'll only use our weapons and our semblance in case of an emergency, I wish we could, but there's no Grim here, so I doubt we'll get to use them a lot in this situation. Now is everyone ready? Ruby asked. The 4 of them then broke out of their huddle, and approached the soldiers. It's decided, me and Weiss will go with Church's team while Blake and my sister Yang will go out with the Red Team. What? But I wanted the, Sarge then sighed, not fond of Church taking Ruby. Okay, fine, I wanted the red cloak girl, she was red. Wait, you mentioned one of them is your sister. Which one of them was that again? Simmons asked. That would be me by the way. Yang said, raising her hand. Really? That's your sister? You two look nothing related at all. Griff said. I know, it's best not to get too deep into it. Yang said, not wanting to get others involved in personal family matters. No, really, I have to ask, there's literally nothing about you two that makes you look like sisters at all. What are you trying to say? Yang asked with a raised eyebrow. Griff, what can you possibly understand anything about family relations? Simmons asked. Well, 1, you're all yellow and she's all red, 2, you're tall and she's small, and 3, you have really big boo. Before Griff can say more, he was punched in the face by Yang, causing him to fall back a few feet and landed onto the ground. Ow. How about next time, observe girls based on their personalities, and not by their chest sizes, lemon head. Yang said while cracking her knuckles. Again, I'm orange, not yellow, Griff wearily said on the ground. You know, on second thought, I wouldn't mind having the yellow lady on our side, could use a great fighter in Red Team. Sarge said. Scary, Simmons whispered in fear. Alright, enough dicking around, Church said as he turns to Ruby and Weiss. Let's go you two, though I should warn you, our base is kind of a mess right now. I doubt it's a bigger mess than what Red Team is currently doing. Weiss said. Don't worry Weiss, RWBY said with optimism. I'm sure their team is nicer than we gave them for. After the trio left, Yang and Blake turned to the Reds. So, are you gonna give us the tour of your Red base? Yang asked. Oh, yes we would love to show you two around. Simmons responded. But, what about the ship you guys were talking about? Blake asked. Oh. Simmons and the rest of Red Team were too focused on the arrival of Team RWBY that they almost forgotten the ship altogether. We believe that this ship was sent by Command. Command? Yang asked. The people we worked with, and now that I think about it, what happened to all of that tapping noise from earlier? Simmons wondered, and on K, the ship started making weird tapping noises again, presumably in the form of Morse code. Church and the others arrived at Blue Base. When they went inside, they noticed Caboose lying on the ground. Who's he? RWBY asked. Oh, him. That's Caboose, don't worry about him. Church reassured. Why is he sleeping on the ground? Weiss asked. A lot of things happened today before you arrived, now Caboose. Where's Doc? Church asked. Doc left. Caboose replied. Took the baby for a walk, it's growing up so fast. Seems like just yesterday he was born. Well actually he was born today, like, an hour ago. Church said. Baby? Weiss questioned. Like I said, a lot of things happened today. We need to cherish these times. I wish I knew how to scrapbook. Caboose said. He sounds like a child. Weiss said. Weiss that's kind of harsh. RWBY said. I mean, I didn't expect a soldier to act different from the rest of his team. Weiss stated. He kind of sounds like Professor Oobleck in a way. RWBY said. I doubt he kind of does, weird, Weiss said. Where's Tucker? Church asked. Still in a coma. Caboose replied. Great, Tucker's out, Shelly is on the fritz, Doc is babysitting, and now I have technically 4 teenagers who are lost. Church said with irritation in his voice. Is Tucker and Doc one of your guys? RWBY asked. Yeah, the one in teal is currently in a coma after giving birth, and the purple one is our medic. That must have sound painful, I kind of feel sorry for her condition. Weiss said. It's fucking stressful that's what it is, and by the way, Tucker is a male and his baby is an alien. Church corrected. What? Weiss exclaimed. Church who are the 2 pretty ladies that I can't see? One of them has a loud voice, are they in a band? Caboose asked, not moving his head. They're RWBY and Weiss, just some kids who are going to help us, and Caboose, if we survive the next 5 minutes, I'll be fucking amazed. Church said, he was about to leave the base, until RWBY talked to him. Wait, where are you going? RWBY asked. I'm going to find Doc, so he can fix all of this. Church replied. What about your friend Caboose? He's still on the ground, I think he needs help. He'll take care of himself, he's been through worse, and by the way he's not my friend. Now are you coming with me? Or not? Because I don't have time for any of this. Church asked. He then left the base. I don't know what's more confusing, the fact that one of their team members gave birth as a male, or the fact he birthed an alien which somehow exists in this place, Weiss said. Why is Church so rude to his team? He's supposed to be their leader after all, and every time he talks, he just reminds me of Dad. RWBY wondered. Hey, wait for us Church. We're coming, RWBY said, as she and Weiss left the base to go with Church. I'm fine by the way. Don't worry about me, Caboose said, as everyone had already left. I'm still cold. Meanwhile, the Red Team along with Yang and Blake, are outside near the ship. Quitter yammering. Let's see if we can get this thing moving, I was thinking about our little discussion earlier and you've decided to use one of my ideas? Simmons hoped. Course not, Sarge replied. I've got a new much more realistic plan for lifting the ship. If Donut is underneath, all we need to do is enrage him to the point where he can lift the ship and our work is done. Blake facepalmed at Sarge's plan. Sarge, that's not going to. Yang then hushed her partner, while smirking at the Red Team's way of rescuing Donut. Hold on for a sec, I want to see where this is going. Now quick, help me think, what would make Donut furious? Sarge asked. I dunno, have you tried sharing your plan with him? That would probably do it. Griff replied. Sarge turns around and look at the bottom of the ship that crushed Donut. Hey Donut, I was back at the base reading some of your fashion mags, and they said that pink is no longer the new black. Turns out black is the new black, and pink is the old black, which is now white, and it's after Labor Day. You know what that means. Oh, dear God. Griff groaned. Yang smiled. Now this is comedy gold. Blake sighed. It really does astound me that they would rather stand around and talk, and not at least try to do something to help their friend out. Also, we needed to do some minor rust repairs on the Warthog drivetrain. Sarge said. The bad news is that the only lubricants I could find is your imported hand creams. The good news is, the Jeep now smells like lilacs. Rust, metal, lilacs. This has got to be TH. Yeah, this doesn't seem to be working. Sarge said, as he interrupts Griff. Alright, time for plan B. Break into the ship and see if we can raise it. No. Sarge yelled at Simmons. Plan B is to try and induce superpowers in Griff. What? How are you going to accomplish something like that? Blake questioned. Oh, I am loving where this plan is going. Yang snickered. Oh, trust me lady, I know a way around some things. Simmons, get my jar of radioactive spiders out of the Warthog. Come here Griff, I need to borrow your neck. Sarge said. Before Sarge could do anything, there was a loud metal noise coming from inside the ship. Did you just hear that? Griff asked. Yeah, that was kind of weird. Blake said. It sounded like it was coming from Mayor of Burbank. Plan A is working. Sarge yelled. Quick Griff, give me a list of the latest celebrity breakups. Simmons helped me out. Simmons walked up to Sarge, and they both looked down at underneath the ship. Hey Donut, I heard they canceled daytime television. Simmons said. Hey Donut. Command called. They rejected your new definition for fire in the hole. They're gonna stick with the old one. Sarge said. Oh Donut. I heard that the Winter Olympics is going to focus even more on snowboarding next time. Simmons said. I can't take this, I'm going to watch some football. Griff left, feeling stressed out. Griff's has been using your paisley thong as a slingshot. Yang is trying her best to hold in her laughter by covering her mouth with one hand. Shish. Blake hushed. I'm trying to listen. What? Are you that interested in Donut's paisley thong? I didn't know you were into those kind of stuff Blake. Yang teased. This caused Blake to blush furiously. What? No. I meant do you hear that? Hear what? All I hear are the red team's insults towards their not dead friend Donut. Yang said. Blake put her right hand on her bow, and listened in closely. There's this strange noise coming from inside the ship, I think someone's inside of it right now. What? How do you know that? Yang asked. Blake pointed to her bow. Oh, that's right, you're part cat, but still, should we do something about it? Blake tried to listen close on the strange noise near the ship, only to hear nothing at all. Not now, the noises stopped for some reason, I think we'll just have to wait until something happens. Okay, you're the boss. Yang shrugged. Church, along with Ruby and Weiss, are approaching Doc, he's looking down as if there's something wrong with him. Hey Doc, we've got problems man. I need to call command. Church said. Doc is still looking down at the ground, not responding to Church. Hello, Earth to Doc. I mean, this place to Doc. Doc, are you okay? Ruby asked. Excuse me, Doc, are you not feeling well? Weiss asked. Doc then looks up and faces them. Don't you want to say hello to our new friend? What? Everyone looked down to see what Doc was talking about, and what they saw caused them to be speechless. They spotted a small, teal-colored, alien who was about 2 feet tall and is now staring at them. Honk. The alien responded. They all continued to stare at the alien for a few moments, not preparing themselves for what they had just witnessed in front of them, a living, breathing, baby alien standing right in front of them. What is that thing? Weiss asked, not sure what to make on what she's seeing right now. I don't, I can't, I don't, this is, Church was at a loss for words. Take your time, this is a big moment. Doc said. Blard. The small alien said. It's so adorable. Ruby squealed. I know right. Isn't Mother Nature just simply breathtaking? Doc asked. Weiss pinched her nose. Ruby, you did not just say that atrocious-looking specimen look adorable out loud. Ruby gasped at Weiss's response. How could you say that? That tiny alien is just so cute. It's like having another Sway. At least Sway was a dog, this thing is nowhere near appealing. Weiss stated. Alright, shut up you two, I can't deal with this right now. Church said, not wanting to deal with Tucker's newborn alien. Honk. The alien yelled. Shut up. You're disgusting. Doc, what is Vic's number? Church asked. Doc turns to look at RWBY and Weiss. Church, who are these two girls? They're RWBY and Weiss, yada yada yada, some people who are helping us out, now just tell me his number already. Church answered harshly. What for? For reinforcements. Wait, unless you've had like, specialized combat training for the last 10 minutes. Church said. No. Doc responded. Then yeah, reinforcements. Why do you need reinforcements? RWBY asked. Because I'm in a fucked situation with my life on the line. Almost all my team members are down, the tank is acting weird, and I have to babysit you two until actual help arrives. Church said. Well, we can help you, there's nothing Team RWBY can't handle after all. RWBY said while smiling. No, you can't, at least not right now, you're just a bunch of kids, the last thing I need is seeing you getting hurt by those red assholes. Church said. But, RWBY, we're supposed to only fight if things get out of hand, remember? Weiss whispered to RWBY. I know that, but still, it sucks that we can't do anything. And we're supposed to be a team of huntresses. Helping people out is what we do best. RWBY stated. We wait until it's the right time to do so, for now just try to be patient, okay? Weiss said. RWBY sighed. Okay, but I still don't like doing this though. Well, I did just change a dirty diaper. That doesn't count, Church stated. I don't know, it was a real doozy, number 2. Gross. RWBY gagged in disgust. Too much information, Doc. Weiss facepalmed. Doc, focus. Church yelled. Vic's number, what is it? Come on, Church. Everyone remembers Vic's number. Didn't he teach you the song? Doc asked. Oh right, Vic's jingle. Church said. If you want to talk, don't email, and don't you click, just call me up at 555 volt ICK. Doc sang. That was kind of catchy. RWBY said. Not the worst song in the world, but the lyrics could have definitely used some work. Weiss commented. You know, it would have been more memorable if it rhymed, or if his name actually ended in a K. Church said. Oh, music is a great way to learn things. That's how I studied for the MCAT. Doc said. You passed the MCAT? Church questioned. What's an MCAT? RWBY asked. It stands for Medical College Admission Test. Church answered. Oh. Doc started laughing. Not even close, but you should really hear my rendition of the Kelly Clarkson song, Miss Independence. It teaches you all about the lymphatic systems. Dome, lymphatic system. Hey, shut up, I'm on the phone. Church whispered. Honk. The baby alien said. And do me a favor, kill that fucking thing, would you? Church asked. He calls Vic on radio communications inside his helmet. Blarg. The baby alien responded. Hey, dude, Vic responded. Hey, it's Church. This is Vic at 555 volt ICK, doodly doo. I'm not in the casita right now, so leave your lowdown at the dingdon, Asta. Beep. Hey Vic, this is Church, I need to. You have reached the voicemail system. Church groans, not wanting to deal with Vic's voicemail. Okay, come on. Church, who are you trying to call? RWBY asked. I told you to shut up. I'm trying to listen. Church responded harshly. To leave a message, just wait for the tone. I know how to leave a goddamn message. Church said. Weiss rolled her eyes. This conversation may take a while. When you are finished recording, just hang up, or press pound for more options. Really, hang up? No shit. I was just gonna keep talking until he decides to check his voicemail. Church said sarcastically. For delivery options, press 5. The automated voice call said. Just give me the damn beat. Church yelled. To leave a callback number, press 8. To page this person, press 6. Come on. Church shouted. RWBY turns to Weiss. Weiss, who do you think Church is trying to call? Probably someone named Vic, but I don't think he's having a good time at the moment. Weiss answered. How come? RWBY asked. To repeat this message, press 9. I will fucking stab you, computer phone lady. Church threatened. That's why RWBY. Weiss pointed. I'm starting to believe this so-called war of theirs is just an excuse to not do anything productive. There's gotta be something we can do around here. RWBY said. We just have to wait for the right opportunity. I'm sure Blake and Yang are dealing with Red Team's problems right now. The Red Team are still observing the ship, while they hear the same tapping noises being repeated. That tapping noise is going to drive me insane. Griff said in annoyance. We either need to get Donut out of there, or find a way to kill him. Blake then hits him in the back of his head with her hand. Ow. The fuck was that for? We're not going to kill one of your teammates. Blake said. I was just kidding, sheesh. Learn to take a joke. Griff yelled. Saying that you're going to kill your ally is not funny. Yeah, I have to agree with Blake on this one. Jokes about murder aren't funny unless they're executed well. Yang joked, causing everyone to groan in annoyance. And now I want to go back to hearing the tapping noises again. Griff said. Yang, really? Blake questioned. Don't blame me for having a different sense of humor, I'm just trying to pass the time. We've done a whole lot of nothing for what felt like hours and so far, we still haven't gotten the ship off of Donut yet. Yang said, crossing her arms. Simmons sighed. Donut, can you please stop tapping? We heard you, you're crushed, and you're in mortal danger. We get it. I can feel the tapping in my brain. Griff complained. Well, I have to admit it. I'm stumped. Sarge said. I have no idea how to get him out. Jesus. Griff shouted. How long will it take to starve him to death? When was the last time he ate? Blake glared at Griff. Are you serious? I'm not trying to be funny here, I'm just asking. Griff said. Sarge, didn't you once tell me you've built self-destruct mechanisms into our armor? Can't you just use Danu Ow? Griff was cut off, as Blake hit him in the back of his head once again. Why? No, sadly that's just you, Griff. Although I could activate yours if you'd like. Sarge suggested. How would that help? Griff asked. Well, the situation would be a little less annoying. Sarge said. You want me to get the activation code, sir? Simmons asked. The activation code is just, activation code. Sarge said. Yang snorted. Did you really? Yeah, to keep it simple. Sarge replied. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. Simmons muttered. We're not going to blow anyone up. And why would you install something like that? Blake asked. You know, for safety reasons, Sarge said. The tapping noises continued to get louder each time. Oh my god, is it getting louder? Griff winced. I bet the Blues don't have to put up with anything this annoying. Church and the rest of the gang are still outside in the same position as before. They're waiting for Church to finish calling Vic, but it looks like he wasn't too happy with the automatic voice system mess he's currently in right now. To mark this message as urgent, press 11. There is no 11, you fucking whore. Church yelled out loud. Ooh, language. Doc said. Weiss shook her head. So, unprofessional and ill-mannered. She noticed RWBY was looking kind of sad, as she continued to stare at Church. RWBY, are you okay? Huh, yeah, RWBY responded in confusion. Because you've been observing Church for quite a bit ever since we've been here. Is everything alright with you? Weiss asked. I'm fine, Weiss, there's nothing to worry about. RWBY hesitantly replied. Men, it pains me as your leader to say this, but I think we need to admit defeat. Sarge said. Blake moved next to Yang. Okay, this time I'm hearing it directly, whoever is making those tapping noises must be inside the ship. Got it, I think I know what I have to do now. Yang said, she then went next to the door of the ship. Yang, what are you doing? Blake asked. Years of my experience on the battlefield, and I've finally met my match. I've never thought I'd be beaten by a ship. A ship full of enemies, maybe, but never just the ship itself. Bravo, ship, bravo. Sarge said to his team. Don't give up yet, sir. Simmons said. I'm sure we can find a way to. The red team didn't notice Yang going towards the ship. She jumped and grabbed the top of the ship's door. She used both her hands to slam it down as hard as she can, making a lot of creaking noises, causing red team to witness her in action. What in the Sam hell is going on? Sarge shouted. Did you just open the ship's door, with your hands? Simmons exclaimed. I just fixed your ship problem, you're welcome by the way. Yang said. Dude, seriously, what the fuck? Griff said. Blake's bow twitched. Someone is coming out of the ship. What? How can you possible? Before Simmons can say anything, they all heard footsteps and turned to see the one who was making the Morse code tapping noises in the first place. What they've found was something they had not expected at all. What the fuck are you doing here? Griff exclaimed. The rest of the blue team are still outside waiting for Church to finish his phone call. He's not making any successful progress at all. To hear these options in Spanish, press dos. The automated voice said. I hate you. Church yelled. Beep, Vic, it's Church, I need tea. I'm sorry, but this person's voicemail box is full. The automated voice said. Church growled in anger. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna kill myself. Church, are you okay? Ruby asked. What was that all about? Doc asked. Everyone, we are royally screwed. Half our team is down, and I thin. No, it's not. Look. Caboose is already back in action. Doc pointed at the blue base. They all turned to see Caboose running out of blue base. I'm okay. I'm okay. He stops in place, and quickly collapses onto the ground a few seconds afterwards. I'm not okay. Aren't you going to give him some medical help? Weiss asked. He's fine. Doc replied. Like I was saying, half the team is down. I gotta keep watch on the girls, and half that's left sucks, so all the Reds need to do is attack us, and we're dead. Church said. Honk. The small alien shouted. Oh right, and I have to kill this fucking thing. Church said. Ruby gasped at Church's response. How could you? Why would you want to kill something this cute and innocent? Are you fucking serious right now? Church asked. Don't bother arguing with her. Once she starts, she'll never stop. Weiss said. Also, I see a big ship. Now I know I'm hallucinating. Caboose yelled. Oh, and I forgot that part. The Reds also have an enormous ship that was sent by their command. Church said. Probably has a huge fucking weapon on it, like a nuke, or a biological weapon that's gonna melt our skin, or a genetic weapon that's gonna make everyone in blue armor sterile. Awesome. Maybe this isn't the best time to remind you that technically, I'm neutral in this conflict. Doc replied. Church, you don't have to worry, Blake and my sister Young are at Red Team. If there were something strange going on with them, they would tell us immediately. Ruby said. Not to worry. Ruby, I don't know anything about you girls, so I don't think this situation can get much worse. Church replied. I mean the ship is bad enough, but God knows what kind of reinforcements they have in that thing. Could be a whole new squad. Or, a freelancer. Or, Griff's sister. Simmons exclaimed in surprise. The Red Team saw a girl in yellow-colored armor, who was originally in the ship that crash-landed near them, and just so happens to be Griff's sister. Yeah, isn't that cool? Griff's sister replied. You know, I always knew there was a genetic possibility that Griff would have blood relatives, but I always held on to the hope that he was a horrible byproduct of an experiment at a turd manufacturing plant. Sarge said. That's disgusting. Blake said. Go home, Griff declared. What? Griff's sister was confused. Go home, right now. Griff repeated harshly to his sister. Get in your ship, uncrash it, and fly it home. Young whistled. This just got awkward. I agree. Blake said. Whatever, make me. Griff's sister argued. As much as I don't want to spoil my reputation as a do-nothing slacker, I will not hesitate to beat you senseless and drop you in the ship myself. Griff said. Okay, I think that's enough of that. Young said, not wanting the tension to escalate any further. How about we just all calm down and introduce ourselves? Hi, my name is Young, what's yours? Heya, my name is Kaina Griff, but you can just call me sister. Kaina said. Sister. Blake said. You know, as in Griff's sister, duh. Kaina said. Alright, Missy, there's just one thing I don't get, how'd you join the army? Sarge asked. What do you mean? I just signed up. Kaina stated. But you're you know, you got lady parts. Sarge said. So. Kaina said. Young shook her head. Oh boy, not this again. So, unless this is the cooking and sewing army, Sarge said. No, I meant to join the real army. Kaina corrected. Does your gun shoots brownies? Sarge asked. What? You'll have to excuse Sarge, he comes from the old school. Simmons pointed out. Thanks, by the way, nobody says old school anymore. Kaina said to Simmons. So Kaina, why did you want to join the army? Blake asked. Becoming a soldier is not a career anyone would want to partake in, unless there's a specific reason to do so. Actually, they told me I was too young, so I grabbed an extra suit of armor, and busted a shuttle. Kaina said ecstatically. Now that's badass. Yang said, causing Blake to roll her eyes. Glad you learned something from me. Griff said. Kaina snickered. No, I'm just kidding. I always wanted to do something like that. Yang's sweat dropped. Ah, what? You got my hopes up for nothing. But why did you join the army? Griff asked. That's the dumbest thing I had ever heard, well besides the book thing. But that book situation my team dealt with was true. Blake pointed out. Yeah, sure, whatever you say. Griff said, still not believing them. Well, you always looked after me when Mom ran away to join the circus. Kaina said. PFF, wait what? Yang snorted. Wait a second, hold on, your mom is in the circus. Simmons asked. You know, at first I didn't like you, but you've already made my insults 45% more efficient by just saying one sentence. Was your mom a flaming sword swallower? Sarge asked. We could use somebody to replace Donut. Blake blushed for some reason. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that. No, you know how circuses have a bearded lady and a fat lady. Well, my mom plays both because she's like, super talented. Kaina stated. Yang then exploded into a laughing fit. Blake elbowed her to keep her from laughing, but she was also having a hard time composing herself, after hearing Kaina talking about her and Griff's mom. Oh, my God. Is it okay if I record everything you say? Simmons asked. Sure, Kaina said. Anyway, Griff always looked after me, but when he went away, I didn't want to be alone. That's unexpectedly sweet of you, Griff. Blake said. Don't mention it, no seriously, don't mention it to anyone else, ever. Griff stated. Okay, let me get this straight. You felt scared being alone, so you decided to join a war. Simmons questioned. She's a Griff alright, Sarge said. Wait a minute, she was the one who was tapping. Griff shouted. Duh, Simmons said. Yeah, I was wondering why you guys didn't answer. Kaina said. None of us knows Morse code, it's outdated. Simmons said. Don't you mean, old school? Kaina asked. Wait a minute, Griff got a point, if she was the one making all that racket, then whatever happened to your friend Donut? Yang asked. A baby. Wait up, I wanna see. Donut said ecstatically. Donut, get back here. Wait for the ship, Sarge yelled. But Sarge, we don't know when the ship is gonna get here. It's coming all the way from Earth. Donut replied. That could take days, or weeks, or months, or even years. There was a giant crash that can be heard from underneath the surface. When the ship crash landed on Donut, he was crushed and launched into a well-lit underground area. As he was falling, he began screaming very loud, but unfortunately no one was there to witness him in distress. After the impact broke his fall, he woke up and struggled to get back up. Ow, what happened? Donut said. He slowly stands up, but fell back down in pain. Ow, owie, I think there's something wrong with my gluteus maximus. He puts his hand near his rear end, and what he felt was something strange. What's this? He then took out something that looked like a shiny green emerald that somehow was lodged inside of him. Whoa, I know I've had things that went inside of me before, but this must be my lucky day. Donut said, examining the treasure he found in delight. Somewhere in the cliffs of the canyon, a blue humanoid-like hedgehog creature is on the ground. He has emerald green eyes, white gloves, and red shoes. He was down for a moment, until he slowly started to rise back up. He's holding his head with his hand, groaning in pain. What just happened? Where am I? Some sort of canyon, he wondered. The hedgehog then saw a bright white flash that was going off in the distance. He ran in a blue blur, and what he saw was something he did not expect. A bunch of wild, hungry-looking, ferocious animals, with skeletal appearance all over their bodies, with bright red eyes, and are around both the red base and blue base. Huh, looks like Mother Nature isn't very welcoming in this ghost town. The blue hedgehog said. Maybe there's some answers I could find after what happened to me and my friends. He then ran off very quickly, and went towards the Reds and Blues base, while preparing to fight off any incoming attacks from the wildlife. Laughing joking numbnuts. Church and the others are on top of Blue base. They're all currently standing next to Caboose, who is holding a sniper rifle, and is having a problem trying to aim it properly, causing Church to be frustrated every time he sees him mishandling his sniper rifle. See him there? Right there, the yellow one. Church said to Caboose. The one next to Simmons, that's Griff. Caboose said, holding the sniper rifle in an awkward position. The other yellow one. Church stated. What? The pretty yellow lady with a lot of hair. Caboose asked. She probably wrestles bears. Caboose. That's my sister Yang. Ruby pointed out. My sister Yang, got it. Caboose said. No, I meant the other yellow one, dumbass. Church exclaimed. Is he always like this? He looks a bit challenged. Weiss asked. You have no idea how little that narrows down. Church replied. Oh, that new yellow person. Caboose said. Oh yes, of course, yes, he looks very scary, yes. And I know that because I am looking right at him. Right now. Yes. He's yellow. This is very interesting. Church sighed heavily. You don't even see him, do you? Why yeah, I don't even know how to use this thing. Caboose replied. Oh man, Church said. You know Church, if you want, I can handle using that sniper rifle. Ruby asked. What? No, Ruby, I know you want to do something to help us out, but I can't allow a teenager to use the sniper rifle. Besides, what do you know anything about using guns? Aren't you like 15? Church asked. Well, yeah, but I'm kind of a gun nut when it comes to weapons. I always train with my uncle Kiro back when I was in Signal Academy. He really is one of the best teachers I could have asked for. Ruby said with glee. What the foo, what kind of uncle would take their kid and teach them to use guns? Church exclaimed. Like for what specific reason? You girls don't look like you can put up with that much of a fight. Well, maybe your sister, but for what purpose would he let you use guns, hunting animals? We hunt. Ruby. Weiss whispered to Ruby, signaling her to not mention anything else. I mean, it's just a personal hobby of mine, ya know. Ruby said, relieving Weiss. Church sighed. You know what? Forget I asked. What the red team have right now is no good. Yellow armor, what does yellow armor mean? Is it some kind of special ops guy, or, man, this can't be good for us? What if it's a new gun? Caboose asked. What? Why am I even talking to you? It's a person. Church yelled. In yellow armor. We already established that. Oh no, wait, maybe they got their own medic. Caboose guessed. A medic? Caboose, we're not that lucky. Church replied. Doc is outside near the blue base, and is talking to Tucker's little alien. See, my suit is purple. Can you say purple? Doc asked. Here. Honk. The alien responded. Plea. Doc said. Honk. The alien yelled. Great. Once we learn all the colors, we'll learn how you shouldn't judge people by them. Doc said. Yeah, that guy is definitely some kind of special forces. Church said. Probably trained in knives or ball kicking or something. Ball kicking. You truly believe kicking someone's pelvis is considered a skill? Weiss questioned. Don't give me that. I'm just making shit up as we go, like how am I supposed to know what the Reds have over there anyway? Church exclaimed. Maybe he's an alien. Caboose guessed. An alien that looks like the rest of us. Church questioned. And that is the scariest kind of alien. Caboose replied. An alien with shape-shifting powers that can disguise itself as any one of us. I'm gonna have nightmares for weeks. Ruby shuddered at the thought. Why are you three even here? It would be easier for me to call random people on the phone and talk to them about this. They would understand the situation better. Church complained. I beg to differ, that phone conversation you had with Vic, or whatever, didn't seem like you had the best time dealing with the voicemail by threatening to stab them, despite it being non-existent. Weiss pointed out. Hey, that computer phone lady is a bitch, and she deserves every second of what's coming to her. Church yelled. Behind the three of them, a teal-armored color soldier, who is presumably Tucker, began walking towards them. He's holding his body in pain, with his arms, due to the experience of committing childbirth as a male. They all turned to look at Tucker, who is making weird noises while shaking his head. Oh, look who's awake. Church said mockingly. Is this Tucker, one of your teammates that you mentioned? RWBY asked. Yeah, this is him all right, and also, we're not teammates. Church said. He doesn't look like he's in good condition to be walking properly. Weiss observed. What the fuck happened? Tucker asked. Oh, well, as you may remember, you were impregnated by an alien visitor who was on a noble mission to save his entire species fro. Can I get the short version of this? Tucker asked, interrupting Caboose. Yeah, ya got knocked up, ya got knocked out. Church replied. What does that mean? RWBY asked. Weiss grimaced at what Church said. RWBY, it's best to not ask questions you aren't prepared to handle the answers to. I mean I know he was pregnant, but I was just curious on what did he mean by. Look, can we all just move on from this conversation, okay? Church shouted, not wanting to get himself into an awkward situation. Church, who are these two chicks? Tucker asked. They're RWBY and Weiss, just some girls who got themselves lost, and are helping us out until we find a way to send them back home to, wherever they came from. Church explained. Weiss sighed. This whole mess is pretty hard to deal with right now. Don't worry baby, I know what it feels like when it comes to being hard in a lot of messes, bo chicka bo ow. Tucker was kicked in his pelvis by Weiss, causing him to fall on his knees, covering his crotch with his hands in pain. Weiss, RWBY yelled. Hey, if you ask me, he deserves it for being a disgusting simpleton. Weiss exclaimed while blushing. That's where the baby came out, Tucker wearily said, trying to catch his breath. You know what? I'm starting to understand how ball kicking someone can be a useful skill. Weiss said to Church. Church chuckled. Hey, okay, that made my day by just a little. Oh, and by the way Tucker, they're both underage. What? Tucker yelled. How the hell was I supposed to know that? What am I? Some human age detecting machine? You need help, Church replied. You feeling alright Tucker? You know after the whole, alien pregnancy? RWBY asked. Tucker then stands back up. Oh right, I need to start working out, lose all this baby weight. Yeah, you know we should all start working out especially some of us. Caboose whispered, hinting at Church. That is something I can agree with. Weiss said. Yeah, some of us seem to have let ourselves go more than others. Tucker said, staring at Church. Are you guys talking about me? Church asked. I know we only met recently, but you can be cranky than the rest of us. RWBY said. We didn't want to say anything. Caboose said. Yeah, that's why we said something, fatty. Tucker said. Tucker, that's kind of mean to say to your friend. RWBY said. Oh, you'll get used to it, we're technically all like this, it's our way of showing how much we appreciate each other, by calling out their shit. Tucker explained. Hey back off guys, I've been under a lot of stress. Church said. I've been carrying this team. Where'd you carry us, to the buffet? Tucker said sarcastically. He said it. Caboose muttered. What are you guys doing up here anyway? And what's that huge thing? Tucker asked. That's Church. Caboose said. Weiss rolled her eyes. Caboose, he was talking about the ship. He said it. Caboose replied. The Reds called in a ship and it landed on Donut. Now they've got new hardware, and a new soldier. Church said. Who? That girl? Tucker asked. Wah girl. That's a girl. Church exclaimed. Duh. The yellow one, right. The one talking to Simmons. Tucker said. Wow, you have really good eyes. Caboose complimented. How can you see something that far away? We're like 300 feet from here. Weiss questioned. I have too. I never get to use the fucking sniper rifle. Tucker replied. You trained yourself to do that? RWBY asked. I wonder if I can do that as well. You're positive that's a girl? How can you be so sure? Church asked. Dude, look who you're talking to. Tucker said. I also see two more chicks near the Reds as well. Oh, the one in yellow is my sister Young, and the one with the black bow is our friend Blake. RWBY said. Really? Tucker grinned, underneath his helmet. How good are they in? They're all underaged as well. Church said. Even the one with the big boo. Underaged. Church emphasized. I've never met someone who can be so shameless, until now, Weiss said, not liking Tucker. What? The only time we ever have chicks around here, and they're just some kids. This blows, and not in a good way, it just blow, Tucker groaned. You need help, like really bad, Church suggested. The Reds and the other 2 members of Team RWBY are talking to Griff's sister, Kaina, who is still having a conversation with them from earlier. The cool thing is that I was lucky enough to get sent here. Kaina said. They said your commander died, and I needed to replace the missing man. What? Our commander's not dead, I'm the commander. Sarge yelled. And an excellent one at the sir. Simmons complimented Sarge. Thank you, Simmons. Sarge replied. Cough loser alert cough, Yang muttered. Normally I would use the word kiss ass, but your insults are just as good. Griff complimented Yang. Yeah, your commander died, and one of the troops was going to be promoted, and I was sent to replace the missing troop. Kaina explained. What's this about a promotion? Simmons asked, as he went up to her. Now this is about to get interesting. Yang whispered to Blake, which she rolled her eyes in response. Sounds like command made some kind of mistake. Sarge said. I dunno Sarge, I thought you said command never makes mistakes. That must mean you're dead. Griff pointed out. Seriously, what was the promotion thing? Simmons asked. I'm sure I heard something about someone getting promoted. They said that one of your troops will be promoted to replace your dead CO. Kaina replied. One in particular. One like me. A maroon one. Simmons asked, hoping to be promoted. Hey, you're really scary, it's kind of hot. Kaina said to Simmons. Wait, what? Blake said in confusion. Sarge, I'm really sorry you died. Griff said. Yeah, I'm really sad to see you go, PFFFT your sacrifice will not be in vain. Yang placed her hand on his shoulder, while also trying to contain her laughter. Blake sighed. Don't encourage him, Yang. Don't be stupid you too. How can I be dead if I'm standing right here? Sarge exclaimed. Well, if command is wrong about you dying Sarge, couldn't they be wrong about other stuff too? Griff asked. Like, what if the Blues don't suck? Gasp, what if the Blues are awesome? This changes everything. Sarge stared at nothing, as he was getting lost in his deep thoughts, realizing the possibility of command being wrong, and about everything else. Sarge, you can't be falling for something this stupid. You do realize he's lying, right? Blake asked. Sarge didn't give her an answer, he was still unsure on what he was about to do next. The rest of the gang are now near a dug-up grave. With Sarge getting near it, there's also a heart full of flowers that says, Goodbye Sarge and Donut, written on it. Griff and Yang watched in amusement, while Blake facepalmed at what she's witnessing. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to pay our final respects to Sarge. Simmons faked crying a eulogy speech. But I was so young. And violent. Sarge yelled in sadness. Blake shook her head. You have got to be kidding me. You have to admit this is pretty fun to watch. Yang whispered to Blake. We were supposed to help the Reds, so we can find a way back to Beacon Academy, not getting ourselves into a fake funeral. Blake whispered to Yang in irritation. You worry too much. These guys aren't that bad, sure a few screws loose, but it wouldn't hurt to have some fun every now and then. Yang said. I don't think burying someone alive can be considered the definition of fun. Sigh, fine, whatever, let's just get this over with. Blake replied impatiently. And that's what makes this so tragic. Griff said, while Sarge is crying. And now, Griff has asked to say a few things about our beloved Sarge. Simmons said, as Griff went up to Sarge. Hey everybody, it's great to be here. Griff said. Well, what can I say about a guy like Sarge? I mean besides good riddance. Hey yo. Griff, Yang, and Kaina started laughing, while Blake gave them disapproval looks. But seriously, Sarge lived a great life, and now that he's dead, our lives are pretty good too. Zing! Griff shouted. Ha ha ha, you know what I'm talking about. Come on, is this a remembrance or a roast? Sarge asked. Quiet in the front row. Griff said, pointing at Sarge. Yeah, no hecklers in the crowd, that's my job. Yang said. And I'm not asking, and he's not telling. Griff said. But I heard when Donut first came to base, Sarge spent a lot of time talking about glazed donut holes, if you know what I mean, heyo. Yang started laughing at Griff's remarks towards Sarge, getting a glare from Blake. Too soon. Simmons shouted. Hey now. This is the worst funeral I've ever had. Sarge complained. You losers better step up the crying, pronto. Oh, don't worry, sir. I've written a stirring speech that is sure to tug at everyone's heartstrings. Simmons reassured. Good to hear it, now get with the eulogizing. Sarge commanded. On it, sir. Simmons replied, as he walked towards Griff. And who could forget the time Sarge showed us how to field strip Simmons? Griff asked. He did what? Blake exclaimed. Okay, that's enough, I said 5 minutes, Griff. Simmons said. Bye everybody. I'll be appearing at the Laugh Cavern every Tuesday, ladies drink free. Griff said. Woohoo. Kaina cheered. I'm more of a strawberry sunrise kind of girl. Yang said. Not you too. Griff said. Ah. Kaina pouted. It was worth a shot. Yang joked, causing everyone to groan in annoyance. Are you trying to be the clown at my funeral who tries to cheer everyone up by cracking jokes? Sarge asked. Because if so, it ain't workin'. Griff, you can go now. Simmons said. Griff then left. Hello, everyone, I'm here to say a few words about our friend, Sarge. Simmons said. Boo, you suck, Griff yelled, standing right next to him. Get better material next time. Yang yelled. Okay, you do not get to say that to me after that horrible pun of yours, and Griff, get off the stage. Simmons yelled at Griff. Sorry. Griff apologized, as he retreated to the peanut gallery. There was no stage to begin with, we're standing outside. Blake mumbled. Okay, like I was saying, I'm here to say a few words about Sarge. Simmons said. Boo, you suck, Griff shouted. You're so boring. Yang shouted as well. As you all know, Sarge was a magnificent leader, and he was a great inspiration to all his troops. Simmons said, ignoring Griff and Yang's insults. Sarge started sobbing. Simmons is right, this is so emotional, where's my hanky? He was a man of honor, discipline, and character. Simmons said. It's like he's saying what we're all thinking. Sarge said. If he was saying what I'm thinking, he'd be yawning, Griff said. If he was saying what I'm thinking, he'd be sleeping, Yang said. True that. Griff fist bumped Yang. But perhaps his greatest accomplishment is a military man. Tell it, Sarge yelled, interrupting Simmons. And a friend, Simmons said. Preach all. Preach all. Sarge yelled. Was developing my considerable skills as a soldier and as a leader. Simmons said. What? Sarge said. Blake rolled her eyes. Oh no. I'm loving where this is going. Yang grinned. As you all know, Sarge's untimely demise leaves a gap in our command structure. Simmons said. A gap that is best filled by Sarge's right-hand man, a man that has a vision for the red team. Sarge, is he campaigning for your job at your funeral? Griff asked. Classy. He sure does have my vote. Yang chuckled. The Red Army is faced with a difficult choice, the choice of, who will lead us to glorious victory. Simmons quoted. Let's hope they choose a great candidate, a candidate whose armor is actually a shade of red. Sarge would have wanted it that way. Choose Simmons, it's the only thing Sarge did in life, so don't let his whole existence be in vain. In closing, somebody died. Vote for me. Awesome speech. Griff said sarcastically. 10 out of 10 would recommend, not. Yang said. Is this the kind of thing you guys do all day? Kaina asked. Pretty much, just run with it, it's the only thing that keeps you from going insane from boredom. Griff said. Honestly, I wish there was something more exciting to do around here, but this is still enjoyable to watch. Yang said. Yeah, or we could raid the medical supplies for morphine. Kaina suggested. Yeah, wait what? Griff said. She's getting weirder and weirder every time, Blake whispered. Hey, sister, you're up. Simmons said to Kaina. Awesome. Kaina went up to the non-existent stage, and is about to give out her speech. Can I go again? Griff asked. I just thought up a swear word that rhymes with Kentucky. Can I go next after her? Yang asked. I also got a speech that'll make Sarge cry out a river, maybe even a waterfall if I'm lucky. Couldn't even wait for me to be buried, could you? Sarge said in annoyance. Your death is in the past, Sarge, and we need to look to the future, a future filled with Simmons. Simmons said. Hey, everybody, I'm new here and I didn't know Sergeant very well, but he was really old, and that's gross. Kaina said in disgust. Griff snickered. Ha ha, I wrote that line. You my good man, or a comical genius. Yang complimented Griff. Griff, let other people have the spotlight for once. Simmons said. Anyway, when you're old and gross, you're probably going to die and that's kind of sad, but when you think about it, all your friends are probably dead too. Kaina explained. And if they're not, then they're definitely old, and knowing old people is even sadder than being dead, so, anyway, whatever, peace out. Well, that's one way to roast the elderly. Yang smirked. Please tell me this nonsense is finally over. Blake said, not wanting to deal with this anymore. This is a miserable excuse for a ceremony. Sarge exclaimed. Where's the flag folding? Where's the 21-gun salute? Sir, the flag is an important part of our inventory. We can't just go around having impromptu foldings because we feel like it. Simmons explained. And yet, you guys were able to host a fake funeral without any problems. Blake questioned. This is different, we're here to say our farewells to Sarge so I can get that promo tea, I mean to honor my memory of my former commanding officer. Simmons said, almost revealing his true intentions. And I was in charge of the 21-gun salute. Griff said. Unfortunately, we don't have 21 guns, so you'll have to settle for what I call the double bun salute, starts in just a few moments. I think I'm gonna be sick just thinking about it. Yang commented. You just didn't want to bring the guns, do you? Blake asked. Can you really blame me for trying? Griff lazily said. Okay, before we start burying Sarge, it's time for Yang to take the stage. Simmons said. Yang don't, Blake said. Relax, Blake, I won't go too far with what I'm about to say. Yang reassured. She went up to the stage and prepared her speech. My good fellow Reds, it is a sad day for our team, as our sergeant, what's his name? Yang asked. It's Sarge. Sarge responded to Yang's question. Yeah, that's your rank, I meant what's your nah? I just told you. Are you slow or something? Sarge asked in a rude manner. You're lucky we're gonna bury you, otherwise you'd be missing more than just an arm. Yang mumbled in annoyance. So, wait, you're their sergeant, but your name is Sarge. It gets less confusing the less you think about it. Simmons said. He's our sergeant who just so happens to be named Sarge. Yeah, isn't that a huge fucking coincidence? Griff said sarcastically. Why am I not surprised? Blake said. Well, like I was saying, it's a sad day for Red Team. Yang continued with her speech. Sarge was truly the best damn leader a soldier can ask for. You're darn right, Tootin', Sarge cried. He was someone who would always lift up that magnificent shotgun of his, and would go around aiming at his enemies, just for being blue. Yang said. My shotgun is my pride and joy as a soldier. Sarge yelled. It's the only thing that represents who I am in the act of battle. And since he's no longer with us, I would always find him to be one crazy son of a gun, literally. Yang said. The moment he pointed his shotgun on us when we first met, I was this close to breaking his kneecaps and destroy him permanently. You were gonna do what now? Sarge said. Damn it, Yang, Blake muttered. If he really does love his shotgun so much, then why doesn't he go marry it? Yang questioned. Griff snickered. Yeah, why doesn't he marry his shotgun? That thing is worth jack shit every time he tries to shoot at someone from far away. Shut up, numbnuts. Sarge growled. If he was still with us today, I would totally win a fight against him. He'd be begging and crying for his dear life, with his final words being, oh, Yang, please don't hurt me. You were right, women are more superior to be in the army than a weak guy like me. I'm just a scrawny old man, who breaks his back every time I get up off my rocking chair. Yang mocked Sarge. I can see that totally happening. Griff said. Like I said, old people are gross, they're not even fun to hang out with in bed. Kaina pointed out. Yeah, wait, what? Simmons said. Blake slowly stepped away from being close to Kaina. And that is all I have to say to our friend Sarge, may he rest in peace in military heaven. Yang said. She walked up next to Blake. Did pretty good if I say so myself. That might be the worst eulogy speech of all time. Sarge yelled. I'm the best goddamn manly leader Red Team has to offer. I would never say something so girly. I can't believe you actually said all of that. Blake said to Yang. You can't have a comedy club without your host Yang. Yang smirked. Okay, Blake, it's your turn. Simmons said. What? Blake exclaimed. But I don't even know Sarge all that well, we only just met him recently. You'll be fine, you know him longer than Kaina did, what's the worst that can happen? Yang said. That's not the problem. Blake replied. Alright, Blake, we don't have all day, we gotta start burying him soon, so go up there and give it your all. Simmons said. But, you heard the man, get on up there. Yang said, as she slowly starts pushing her friend to the imaginary stage. Blake sighed. You're the worst. Hello, my name is Blake, and, Boo. Why are you taking so long? Get it over with already. Griff yelled. Okay, you know what? Screw this. Blake yelled. I can't take this anymore. I'm not giving a speech to someone who isn't dead. It's okay there, Blake, you don't have to lie. My fate is already decided anyway, Sarge said, looking at the ground. But that's the thing, you're not dead, you're still here, standing and talking to us right now. Blake pointed out. Time's up, Blake. It's time to commence the burial for the deceased. Simmons rushed, not wanting to lose his opportunity. Sarge sighed. I'll just get in my grave now. Yeah, that's maybe for the best, sir. Simmons said. Oh wow, he's actually going to do it. Yang was surprised. What did you expect? Griff asked. Sarge don't. Blake said. No can do, command says I'm dead, so I have to be, command have never been wrong before. Sarge stated. I don't know anything about command, but maybe they are wrong, especially something this foolish. Blake yelled. You're not dead. They're probably talking about someone else. And you're going to waste your life over something this ridiculous. Yikes, Blake, maybe you should take a deep breath for a moment. Yang insisted. Yeah, you're even starting to scare me. Griff said. I'm sorry, Blake, it's about time to put this soldier in under the dirt, and there's nothing anyone can do to ruin the mo. Thwacked. Sarge was then struck by Blake's sheathed katana on the back of his head. As a result, he collapsed onto the ground unconscious. Herc. Blay-ag. Sarge muttered, before he got knocked out. The blue team are all outside of their base, they're currently looking at Tucker's newborn alien for a few minutes, not knowing what to do next. It's so small and cute. Ruby squealed. Weiss shook her head. Every time I look at it, I just can't describe on how gross it looks. So, this is it, Tucker. This is your little monstrosity. Church said. Your little abomination of nature. What do I do? Tucker asked. Why are you asking me? Church replied. I don't know how to be a dad. This isn't the way I planned it. Tucker yelled. Wow, Tucker, I had no idea you wanted to become a father. Ruby said. No, I mean I always wanted to have that ideal father-son relationship. You know, where I see him for like 8 hours every other weekend and send checks to woman I hate. Tucker explained. That's your take on being a parent? Weiss questioned. By being a divorced father figure. Yeah, that's how I see myself anyway. I'm a lover, not a father. I don't know how to handle something like this. Tucker said. It's emotional conversations like this that make me miss my mom, Caboose said. It's always nice to talk about how much we appreciate our family from time to time. Ruby commented. I guess so, Ruby, Weiss said hesitantly, not wanting to remember her family's problems. All right, look, let's leave these two alone. Church said. Let them do a little bonding. Hey, don't leave me here with him. What am I supposed to say? Tucker asked. Have you given him a name yet? Ruby asked. How about calling him, Sway the Second? Ruby, it's not a dog, Weiss stated. Well, I think it's an adorable name. Ruby said. What about, Greenie? Because of his color. Weiss facepalmed in response. I think we'll put the name callings on hold for now, Tucker said. Ask him if he likes baseball. Caboose suggested. It's an alien baby, Caboose. Church pointed out. Ask him if he likes t-ball. Caboose suggested something different. Alien, Caboose. Church replied. Alien was the key word in that sentence. Seriously, don't go. Tucker pleaded. I don't know even where to start. Tucker, he's part of an alien race whose only purpose seems to tell huge, grandiose lies to people so they can seduce them and impregnate them. Church pointed out. So, why don't you start with that? You know, common ground. Weiss is disgusted with what Church had just said to Tucker, while Ruby was just confused at what the blue team were talking about. Yeah, I think I'll just stick to baseball. Tucker replied. Tell him about how his dad got to third base with you. Caboose suggested, yet again. Caboose. Church shouted. I know we only just got here, but I'm starting to regret joining blue team with you, RWBY, Weiss said. No need to be so uptight, Weiss. RWBY replied. I'm pretty sure the other two are doing something important with red team, while we help blue team. Back at red base, everyone was shocked to witness at what just happened. They saw Blake holding some sort of katana weapon in her hands, the very same weapon that knocked out their leader Sarge, who was still lying on the ground unconscious near the grave he was about to be buried in. Sarge! Sarge! Simmons shouted, shocked at what just happened. Holy shit! Did you killed him? Griff exclaimed. I didn't want to hurt him. Blake said. You didn't mean to attack Sarge? Simmons asked. Well, you sure fooled me. I panicked. Okay. Blake yelled. He was about to get himself killed over something stupid. We were going to bury him 6 feet underground anyway. Simmons replied. He has a ton of oxygen left in his suit, he would have been fine. That's not what I meant. Blake corrected. You were going to let someone die, why are you all acting so nonchalantly about this? I didn't really feel like having to deal with more of Sarge's bossiness, so I say we did a pretty okay job with almost getting rid of him. Griff said. I was just doing what he asks. Simmons lied. If he commands me to bury him, then I do it for legitimate and selfless reasons. And I just got here, Sue. Yeah, Kaina added. You guys are a bunch of idiots. Blake shook her head. Guys, will ya just relax for a second? Young asked. I'm going to call RWBY and Weiss about this, so how about you try to move his body somewhere else? Young left, and went inside red base to call the other 2 members of her team. Where should we move him? Blake asked. I mean, there's always the hole we dug up from earlier. Griff suggested. No, we didn't dug up the hole. Simmons clarified. I was the one who actually used the shovel, you and sister only pretended to help and made a bunch of digging noises with your mouths. You know that trick? Griff asked his sister. I learned from the best. Kaina replied. We're not putting him in the hole. Blake yelled. Let's just move him back to your red base. Before we do that, there's something I gotta do as your new commander, and that's by teaching you 3 a little discipline, and we're gonna start by running around the base. Simmons commanded. Sister, Blake, you 2 can do girly laps. What? Blake exclaimed. Why me? What did I do? I mean, Griff and sister were already bad enough, but if I want to have the best chances of survival as the new leader for red team, I think it would be best to reprimand you as well. Since you were the one who knocked out Sarge on purpose. Simmons explained. You mean after Sarge wakes up, right? Griff asked. No, I mean right now, Griff. Simmons said, as he is now holding Sarge's shotgun. Whoa, what do you think you're doing with his weapon? Blake yelled. What are girly laps? Kaina asked. Hey Simmons, I don't think Sarge is gonna like you picking up his shotgun. Griff said. Simmons cocked Sarge's shotgun in response. And I really don't think he's going to like you threatening me with it. Well, okay, he might like that part. As the new leader, what I say goes. Simmons stated. So, everyone needs to start running right now. You're crazy. Blake shouted. I'm not going to follow your commands just because you're threatening me with his gun. Oh please, Simmons replied. You're just a teenager, what do you know anything about obeying orders? When someone asks you to do something, you do it right away. Blake frowns at Simmons' response. She thought of someone who she thought she could have trusted in the past, but instead the outcome of everything they've done would have led to something more heartbreaking, due to how many times he tried to steer her in the wrong direction. But what about Sarge? He's still here, just unconscious. Griff pointed out. Sarge is not here right now, and as long as he's not awake for the time being, that means I'm in charge of this team. Simmons stated. And besides, command thinks he died of, what did he died of? Aspirin overdose. Kaina answered. See, they think Sarge is dead of an aspirin overdose. Really? Simmons asked. I know. I didn't think it was possible. Kaina replied. And trust me, I've tried. Yeah. Wait, what? Simmons said. Simmons, I don't know why you're doing this, but this has got to stop. Blake insisted. You can't just be in charge of being the leader of your team just because you can. What difference does it make? Simmons asked. I'm the leader. Me. And being a leader means you have to make tough decisions. Like, just for talking back, you two can't do girly laps. You have gone blind with imaginary powers, Simmons. Griff yelled. Oh, ho, ho. On the contrary, I think I've gone blind with very real power. Simmons said. Seriously, what the fuck are girly laps? Kaina shouted. The three of you, shut up, Simmons demanded. You're running, oof. Simmons was then shoved into the ground by Yang, making him let go of the shotgun. Sorry dude, can't let ya have this. Yang said. She took away the shotgun Simmons was holding. Yang, that was pretty badass of you, not gonna lie. Griff complimented. Thanks for that Yang, Blake said. Ah, Yang, Simmons exclaimed. I thought you were on a phone call with RWBY and Weiss. I was, Yang replied. But it turns out, when I use my scroll, it just turned static for no reason, and I can't figure out why. You're what? Simmons asked. Our scrolls. Yang repeated. Just think of it as another type of phone, and now what are you doing holding a gun right up to my friend's face? Ah, I'm sorry. I won't do it again. Please don't hurt me, Simmons pleaded. Wow, and here I thought you were actually threatening. Blake rolled her eyes. Did you really think he had it in him? Griff asked. Buddy, you have two options, either help us out by not pretending to be leader of your sergeant, or get a brutal beatdown by yours truly. Yang cracked her knuckles. Fine, Simmons got off the ground. I'll call Red Command for confirmation to clear things up. Why are you calling Red Command? Kaina asked. For confirm at Ion. Simmons emphasized. Stop asking questions. You keep talking about them. Why don't you call our guys? Kaina suggested. Our guys. Griff said. Yeah, the blue guys. Kaina stated. The blue guys. Yang questioned. Excuse me. The Wazawa. Simmons said in confusion. The blue guys. The guys that sent me here. In the big ship. Kaina repeated. Something tells me we picked her up by mistake. Yang said. Griff. Blake said. She's your sister, care to explain why is she talking about blue team if we're in red team? Yeah, this might be a bad time to bring up the fact that my sister is colorblind, Griff said. What? Simmons exclaimed. Blake raised her eyebrow. She's colorblind. Why didn't you mention this before? I didn't think it would be all that important. Griff replied. You didn't think it would be important. Both of your teams are colors of red and blue. Yang pointed out. You know, now that you've mentioned it, that does sound pretty important. Griff replied. I don't get it. What's the gray guy so upset about? Kaina asked. But girls can't be colorblind. Simmons shouted. Hey, that's sexist. Yang yelled. Ah, sorry. Please don't hurt me again. Simmons pleaded, as he took a step back to avoid Yang. Yeah, they also say girls can't ejaculate either. But guess what? Kaina said. Yeah, wait what? Griff said. Yang tries her best not to laugh. I want to say something here, but, it would just be plain terrible. After hearing what Kaina just said out loud, Blake covers her nose, as it started to bleed for some reason. She's going to be the death of me, Blake mumbled. Oh my god. What's wrong with you? Why didn't you tell us you were a blue? Simmons asked Kaina. Because. And don't say, because nobody asked. Simmons mimicked a high-pitched voice. But nobody did ask. Kaina replied. She kind of does have a point you know. Yang said. Shut up, ow, god damn it. Simmons groaned. So, what if she is a blue? Griff asked. We'll still keep her. We can't do that, she's on the other team, she'll kill us in our sleep if we keep her. Simmons said. Do I get to do that? Kaina asked. That would be awesome. No, it's not awesome. Blake retorted. No, she wouldn't. Griff replied. Besides, she's colorblind, we'll just tell her we're blues. Hello. We already told her we're red idiot. Simmons reminded Griff. Yeah, well, she's fucking dumb, too. Griff yelled. Yang raised her eyebrow. Griff, I know you and your sister Kaina aren't all that family friendly, but isn't that going too far? No, I'm being fucking serious watch. Griff said. Hey, we're blue now. Woohoo. Go blue. Let's win. Kaina cheered. See. Griff said. Oh my god, she really is as dumb as a rock. Yang commented. Oh please, she'll figure it out. Simmons remarked. No, she won't, Griff reassured. In high school, she got kicked off the cheerleading squad 3 times for rooting for the wrong team. That's incredible, Blake shook her head. No, she can't stay. Simmons repeated. I know, we'll tell the Blues that we took her prisoner. Maybe we can get something out of this mess. No way, we can't send her over there. They'll kill her, Griff replied. Why would they kill her, Griff? Simmons questioned. She's blue, it's not like the blue team goes around killing its own members. Somehow I really doubt that. Blake said. Oh, right, because she's a blue, and if she's over there, then the only people that would be trying to kill her, would be us. Griff said. Exactly. Simmons said. What are you two going with this? Young asked. And that means she'd be safe, because, we're like the shittiest team ever. Griff said. I really don't follow what you guys are talking about. Blake said. Well, I don't know about that. Simmons doubted. As our new leader, I have some pretty bold plans too. For the last time, you're not the leader. Blake pointed out. Sarge is unconscious, and this whole mess was just some misunderstanding. And aren't you the guy who tried to bury your leader? Young asked. Hey, you all helped. We're in this together. Simmons replied. No, Blake just knocked out Sarge to prevent him from getting buried in the hole you dug up. Yang was the one who made me laugh during her speech, and I made digging noises with my mouth, remember? Griff retorted. Oh God, Simmons realized. I'll bring his body to Red Base right away. Hey Simmons, Yang yelled, causing Simmons to stop in his place. Before you go, can you take a look at our scrolls? It's been on the fritz ever since we've been brought here. Sure thing. Simmons grabbed both Yang's and Blake's scrolls, and then sets off to take care of Sarge's body in Red Base. Alright, now that he's gone, you both are going to help me get my sister out of here. Griff said. What? Why? Yang asked. Because as long as my sister is at Blue Base, I won't have to worry about her getting herself into something dangerous. Griff explained. Okay, you're a blue. Touchdown. Woohoo. Go blue. Kaina cheered. No, I mean we're red, but you're blue. Griff clarified. That means you've got to get out of here before Simmons wakes up Sarge. I love waking people up. Kaina said. I wanna help. Wait, what? Blake said. Yang sighed. This might take a while. No, you're leaving, Griff stated. Where are we going? Kaina asked. The other base. Griff replied. The red base. No, the blue base. We have 2 bases. Awesome. Kaina yelled. Move. Griff shouted. Kaina left to go to the blue base. Yang and Blake were stunned by Griff's having some affection and care for his sister, despite the fact he would constantly argue and insult her to no end. Man Griff, I didn't think you had it in ya. Yang said. I always thought you were some heartless, lazy, moron. Blake said. Appreciate the compliment. Griff replied. Even if she can be an annoying stupid asshole at times, she's still my sister, and I gotta keep her safe. Now are you two are going to help me? Or what? Griff asked. Yang and Blake look at each other for a couple of seconds, thinking on whether they should go with him or not. After being surprised that Griff actually have some sense of family affection for his sister, they then look back at Griff to give him their final answer. Sure, we'll help ya. Yang said. The blue team are now currently outside of their base. Tucker is walking towards them and he looks like he has something he wants to say to his team. Hey, have you guys seen Doc? Tucker asked. I need him to babysit for a while. Yeah, I got him talking to Shelia. Church replied. She's been acting real wacky lately. Oh yeah, you mean weirder than your average talking tank. Tucker remarked. Don't be snarky. Church said. Sorry dude, it's the hormones, I just had a baby. Tucker apologized. Yeah, Shelia's been acting kind of distant and weird, plus she's been saying these random threatening things, kind of reminds me of somebody else. Church said. So why is Doc talking to her? And where the hell are Ruby and Weiss at? Tucker questioned. What, you didn't hear the threatening part one just said? I'm not going over there. Church replied. And besides I thought it'd be best if Ruby and Weiss can talk to Shelia because, let's be honest they're the less annoying people I had to deal with all day, and they want to do something to help us, so I'm sure they'll be fine. Why not send Caboose? Aren't they like, in love or something? Tucker asked. Dude, I've had about all the cross-species babies that I can take for a while. The last thing I need is a junior caboose running around with a 130mm cannon for a head. Church explained. Your little devil spawn is enough for me. Don't talk about my kid like that. Tucker yelled. What's your deal? Church asked. I dunno, I think I'm kind of getting into the whole parenting thing. I caught myself looking at minivans the other day. You. Tucker gagged in disgust. Of course, you are. That's why you need a babysitter for a newborn. I'll be sure to nominate you for Dad of the Year. Church said sarcastically. Don't judge me, Tucker remarked. Anyway, Dox is going to find out what's wrong with her and give her a little tune-up, while Ruby and Weiss are going to try talking to Shelia, so she can calm down a little. Church explained. But Doc's not a mechanic, he's a doctor, not a doctor, a medic. Well, I guess he's not really a medic either, because he never really helped anyone. He's just some annoying guy that we know, who wears purple armor, who's annoying. Tucker said. Ruby is just some sweet innocent girl who looked like she could never hurt a fly. And Weiss is, well, she kicked me in the nuts and called me disgusting, I'll give you that much. The point is Doc's not a mechanic. I know, I figure Doc's mechanic skills are probably about as bad as his first aid skills. Church commented. He's either gonna fix her by accident, or make her completely inoperable, and then I can go down there and find out what's really going on. Ruby and Weiss are capable of handling themselves, as long as they don't annoy the tank to the point Shelia would hurt them, but I doubt that'll happen because they're capable enough to understand basic commands and not do anything reckless, unlike most idiots I know here. Either way, I win. Oh, Doc might also get blown up by her, that's also good. Hey, how can the tank talk? Why's she called Shelia? Can she do anything cool? How good is she in battle? Have you ever tried using her? Can you use her? Is she good at blowing things up? How big are the explosions? Ruby questioned, causing Weiss to rub her temple. The other three are next to the tank, they're trying to find some ways to figure out how to calm her down, but Shelia is getting annoyed by the amount of questions Ruby kept asking her out of curiosity. She slowly points her cannon at Ruby. Before they have any time to react, Doc was the one to speak to the blue team's tank. Shelia, we shouldn't be shooting our teammates. Ruby, can you please tone down the questions? Doc asked. You're making her anxious. Oh, right, sorry, it's just, I have never met a talking tank before in my life, so I figured it would be cool to interact with one. Ruby replied. Ruby, I know you're excited, but what were you thinking getting us involved in helping blue team with their tank problem? Weiss yelled. I thought it'd be best if we could help out around here. Because I think having our team helping out both red and blue team would in return help us get back to Beacon Academy, or Vale. Ruby explained. There's a lot of times where I doubt your leadership skills, but this might be your worst decision yet. Weiss pointed out. How bad can it be? I want to support them both, so that way there's no need for any dramatic conflict or battle between the two teams. Ruby replied. Well, I think it's a bad idea. You are about to put us in danger to a loose cannon, and I meant that literally. Weiss said, while pointing at Shelia. Shelia did not like how Weiss is putting her in a bad spotlight. She points her barrel at Weiss, worrying her in the process. Whoa there, Shelia, let's not do anything hasty. Weiss, you gotta be careful with what you say around her. Doc said. Sorry. Weiss said, a bit shaken at the tank almost firing her. Let's try some deep breathing. Doc recommended. Inhale in through the air filter, exhale out through the manifold. Inhale in through the air filter, exhale out through the manifold. Doc continued to teach Shelia some deep breathing exercises, but this apparently caused Shelia to get more annoyed. She then points her cannon once again, this time at Doc. Doc, I don't think it's working. Ruby said. Teaching deep breathing exercises to her never would have worked out in the first place, it's a tank. Weiss exclaimed. Okay, why don't we try some aversion therapy? Doc asked. Think about something that makes you really angry that isn't me. Shelia points her barrel to Ruby, she took a few steps back in response. Or Ruby, Shelia points her barrel to Weiss, she widened her eyes, and was about to prepare herself on using her weapon on her. Or Weiss. Sure, Shelia replied. The blue team are observing Shelia and the others from a distance. Church has his sniper rifle to view on what's going on with their tank. They noticed that Shelia is aiming her cannon right at them from afar. Yeah, I don't feel as good about my plan as I used to, Church said. Hey Blues. They all turned in the direction of where the voice was coming from, and what they saw are Griff, Kaina, Young, and Blake all together, and are about to propose something to them. Aw, crap, here we go, they must have figured how fucked up our team is right now. Church thought. He used his sniper rifle and focus on one of their newest members of their group, which just so happens to be Kaina. Aw, shit, they even brought their new guy. Girl. Tucker corrected. Whatever. Church yelled. Just play along, act like our team is okay, and we've got everything under control. Please, I've been putting on that act for like 3 years now. Tucker replied. What do you want, Red? Church shouted. I've got a prisoner for you. Griff yelled. What did he say? Church asked. Says he has a prisoner for us. Tucker replied. Oh what, they're giving us prisoners now? Church questioned. Dude, that sounds like bullshit, I smell a trap. The Reds aren't that smart, but I dunno anything about Ruby's other friends. Tucker pointed out. Okay, normally I agree with that, but this is the orange one, he's pretty crafty, he's a lot like me. Church said. And I don't know anything about Blake or Young to trust them well enough yet, so we have to be extremely careful. Like you. Shit. Then do I have time to put in my earplugs and hide all out food? Tucker asked sarcastically. Up yours, dickhead. Church muttered. Why would they want to give us one of their guys? And why are the other girls helping them with their trap? Why are you asking me? Tucker asked. Oh, right, why are you giving us one of your guys as a prisoner? Church asked. She's one of your guys. Griff shouted. Yeah, we accidentally picked her up by mistake, she belongs with your group. Young yelled. What's taking them so long? Don't they want more soldiers for their team? Blake asked. Yeah, what's their deal? Why aren't they going for this? Griff questioned. We have to hurry, I've got to get back before Simmons wakes up Sarge. I don't know what's going on with Blue Team, but we got to speed this up. Simmons may have already fixed up our scrolls by now. Young said. I don't buy this, what do you want for her? Church yelled. Nothing. It was an honest mistake. You can have her back now. No harm, no foul. Look, can we hurry this up? Griff replied. Yeah, this is bullshit. Church thought. Ask for something else. Tucker said. We want something else. Church shouted. What? Griff exclaimed. I'm releasing a hostage, you don't negotiate up from there. This is going nowhere, Blake sighed. We're being honest here, she meant to join your team, not ours, it was a misunderstanding, what's keeping you from having her join your group? Got any money instead? Tucker asked. Fuck you dude, Griff shouted. So, what now? Young asked. The blue team don't seem to be the kind of hostage-takey type. I got this. Griff decides to talk to his sister. Get going, call me if you have any problems, and don't go near any Reds from now on. I'll try to keep the team distracted, so they can't attack you. Whatever you do, don't embarrass the family. Think of Mom. Don't do me any favors, bitch. Kaina replied, she then left to go to the blue team. She could have at least appreciated you for what you've done, you seemed like you actually cared for her safety. Blake said. Yeah, it's okay, it's just her way of saying thanks. Griff replied. We never really see eye to eye all that much, but in the end she's family, and I just want what's best for her. That's really inspirational Griff, pretty nice of ya to be looking out for your sister. Young said, thinking about the times she tried to raise her sister Ruby all by herself most of the time, when she was younger. Alright, no need to keep on repeating it. Griff said. What else was on the ship? Church asked. What do you mean? Griff exclaimed. Yeah, like guns or weapons. Or snacks. Tucker yelled. Dude, I'm just asking cause I know you wanted to. No, just the girl. Sorry, there weren't any more aliens for you guys to fuck. Griff yelled. They did what? Blake exclaimed. What'd you just say? Young exclaimed as well. You don't want to know, Griff said. That's okay, we can still fuck this one. Tucker said, as Kaina walked towards them. Woohoo! Kaina cheered. God damn it. Never mind, just send her back. Griff shouted. No takebacks. Church said quickly. What the fuck? Griff whined. Somehow I knew that was going to happen. Blake said. Sorry dude, must have been rough. Yang said, as she patted Griff on his back. It's fine, the important thing is, she's safe, although I might have to kill the guy in the aquamarine armor. Griff said. You mean the guy in teal armor? Blake asked. Yes, him. Guys. They all turned around to see Simmons running up towards them. Sarge is finally awake, I explained everything to him. Now normally he would be here holding his shotgun ready to shoot Griff behind him thinking he'd gone rouge, but I corrected him, saying it was Blake who knocked him out, so he decided to rest for now. Tell him that I said sorry, I didn't mean to knock him out. Blake said. Will do, also here's your scrolls, they should be working. Simmons handed out both Yang and Blake's scrolls, and they see that the static is finally gone. Nice going Simmons, what actually happened to our scrolls? Yang asked. Well, it turns out your phone's technology was really hard to fix, it was like something out of Star Trek, where did you even get something like that? Simmons asked. A lot of students get their scrolls when they enroll for Beacon Academy. Blake explained. Beacon Academy you say? I might visit that place one day, so like I was saying, your scrolls were damaged for some reason, and I also added our radio frequency to your contacts, so you have the option to call us anytime. Simmons explained. Oh really? Sweet. Thanks for that Simmons. Yang said. Anytime. Why were our scrolls damaged in the first place anyway? Yang questioned. Maybe it had something to do with that book Ruby tried to open. Blake guessed. You two keep talking about this book nonsense. Griff said. I know you don't believe us, but that what actually happened? Blake replied. Yeah, we were brought here by mistake, maybe the book did teleport us here or something, I don't know. Yang said. Hey, what are you doing out here in the middle of the canyon? Simmons asked. Oh, you know, just finding something interesting to do around this boring place. Yang stretched her arms. You know how it is around here, Griff replied. So, that Sarge thing's pretty crazy. Hey, is that your sister over there with the blues? What's she doing over there? Simmons asked. Everyone stepped back and ran to the red base, not wanting to deal with Simmons. Why are they all high-fiving? Are they making a cheerleading pyramid? Whoa, they're really tossing her high into the air, Griff. Yang. Blake, where'd you all go? After getting away from both red and blue Team RWBY are all together again after dealing with many of their problems. They talk about their progress on getting back to Beacon Academy, while finding some way to not get red and blue team involved in any meaningless violence. So, any luck so far? Yang asked. I would describe it as a train wreck if I'm going to be honest. Weiss replied. Weiss, I know we didn't do a whole lot to help the blue team, but we managed to get to know more about them, and we at least tried to calm down their tank Shelia. RWBY pointed out. RWBY, Church said that their tank is currently acting dysfunctional right now. We could have been killed if it weren't for Doc. Weiss said harshly. You were what? Yang exclaimed. It wasn't that much of a big deal. RWBY said. She didn't fire at us or anything, I just wanted to talk to the tank, that's all. Weiss sighed. Sometimes I don't know why I get involved with your shenanigans. RWBY, why would you volunteer to help them with something like that? Yang exclaimed. Quote. It's not my fault, okay? I just want to do something, we haven't been able to do anything except for standing around and talking. RWBY explained. Okay, so maybe blue team is a bit strange. Yang said. Kind of glad we decided to go with red team. What did you two do over there? RWBY asked. Oh, it was hilarious, we get to meet Griff's sister Kaina. We hosted a fake funeral where Sarge was about to get buried alive, and Blake knocked him out before he went into his grave. Yang replied nonchalantly. What? RWBY said. Blake, what were you thinking? Weiss yelled. Blake has an embarrassed look on her face. I just didn't want him to be buried alive. He could have died. Is that why you hosted a fake funeral? RWBY asked. It was complicated. Yang replied. Oh yeah, Simmons managed to fix up mine and Blake's scrolls, it must have been affected by the book you opened, RWBY. Wait, it did. Weiss said. She took out her scroll, only to realize her screen is nothing but static. She glared at RWBY. Sorry about that. RWBY apologized. Anyway, we were planning on asking Simmons if he could take a look at your scrolls as well, we don't want to lose contact with each other after all. Blake said. I suppose, RWBY, let's give them our scrolls. Weiss said. She and RWBY gave out their scrolls to Yang and Blake. Great. Now let's get going, we don't want to keep them waiting. Yang said. They all say their farewells for now, and went off in opposite directions. They don't know if they could ever find a way back to their academy, but they did not lose hope. They'll keep a close eye on the red team and blue team, making sure they won't do anything out of the ordinary, but one question remains, whatever happened to that book of theirs? And this is the end of part 1 of this new What If. Hope you guys like to know if you're leaving comment down below and subscribe to the channel.